remix.
Good evening and welcome to Tactical Llama EDC. My name is Tom. Getting used to the screen. Your llama host. That side. How's it going, everyone? Thanks for being here. Good to see everyone here. Marco, Barbie, thanks for joining us. Brad Mitchell, Bradford Mitchell. Two first names there almost. Ground Fog, Bando Picks. Good to see everyone. Addicted to Blades, Mike's Knives. Good to see you. And congrats on that subscriber count. Keep going. Alex Kerber. Good to see you. Fook. Tiger Claw. I'm here. I took him about 10 minutes to type that message. Hello, everyone. Another 10 minutes. Rolf, good to see you. Wow. Justin, Ohio. Barbie. Fook. I mean, thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it. Angelo. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Welcome to the first iteration, first episode, first stream of what I would like to do with the creator series. Try and get more individuals on here to expose. Let me rephrase that. No exposing is going to be happening. I want to introduce you guys, everyone here, to a fantastic individual who's someone I've met in the EDC community, who someone I honestly would have enjoyed meeting outside the EDC community. He's got a personality, he's got a lot to say, and he has a story to tell. Please, without further ado, let's welcome our first guest of this series, brand new series, Pocket Theory EDC. Welcome, Suds. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, everyone. I'm your non-llama host, here to expose myself on a Saturday night. Let's do it. Hi, everybody. just following instructions. You said it. You're the one that said.
I realized what I said.
Looking for an opportunity. I've been waiting.
Well, this is going to be quite the introduction then. Suds, welcome.
Hey there.
I guess you go by Suds. Tell us about that.
It's not anything that's too secret. My last name is Sudbury. It's not because I'm exceptionally clean or because I like beer. A lot of people think it's because I like beer. Oh, he's Suds. He must be a beard. I do like beer, but that's not why they call me Suds.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been Suds my whole life. I like literally since I was a little kid in kindergarten, people were calling me Suds. My dad was Suds before me, so I kind of inherited it.
That's cool.
Always been Suds, yeah.
That's a really cool nickname. Yeah. I mean, I've grown up around kids with weird nicknames, but that one is awesome.
I was gonna say it's a nickname that I never had a problem leaning into because there are really bad nicknames out there. I was friends with a kid named Fish when I was in second grade. That's like the worst nickname. Fish. Poor kid. Yeah,
someone named it was Amanda Butts with 2 T's.
Oh man. Kids are ruthless too. That's the worst part about school. Like they don't hold back at all. Like you have kids, they'll say like ruthless crap to you.
They don't think you'll remember it 15 years from now.
Oh no. Well, they won't remember 15 years from now.
They won't.
Don't you remember we were at the family reunion? You called me your fat uncle. You don't remember that? Oh, you're so cute.
I remember it, you turd, right?
You little rapscallion.
That's going to affect your wedding gift in like 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, you graduated? You're not getting any cash from Uncle Fatty. Thanks.
Here's some Slim Fast.
That's right. Uncle Bald Guy doesn't have any cash for you. As a matter of fact.
Oh my gosh.
Look at all these awesome people in the chat. I'm just gonna say hi to Marco. I see
Marco. Say hi to everyone, please.
I mean, Marco's ubiquitous. Like almost all the lives I show up in, Marco says hi.
Fantastic.
Fook Doozle up in the house. What's up, Fook? Man, it's a Saturday night. We appreciate you guys joining us.
Brown Sugar, thanks for being here.
Lots of people.
Absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, and Fook. Tons of awesome people. And Fook.
And two, got Barbie Chambers, Alex Kerber,
Ouchie, EDC.
Ralph Robertson, Justin Ohio. What's up, Justin Ohio? Man. So I don't know what you got into last night, but I mean, I kind of already told you earlier what I got into. I went and saw a concert,
Yes.
a little band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yes.
Whew, what a show. I'm not the type of guy that just goes out to live shows all the time willy-nilly. It takes a lot these days to get me out of the house and go be around lots of people at a live concert.
Yeah.
This was well worth it. It's well
Okay.
worth the price of admission. I mean, three hours of music. If you guys are familiar with King Gizzard, they are a very eclectic band. They're a rock band from Australia, but they play all different kinds of music. They venture into all different territory. So it was a 3-hour marathon show here in Austin
cool.
at the Germania Amphitheater at the Circuit of the Americas Raceway. Wow, just blown away. Now I would say I am officially I'm not going to start following them around the country. I don't think I'll ever be that kind of person, but I'm officially a fan. I can say
definitely. If they came back to town, you'd go back.
Well, I felt like a casual prior to this because I just kind of listened to them on Spotify. I hadn't like actually purchased any vinyl. Now I think I'm going to start collecting their LPs. I have a record player. They have lots of records. It seems like a good match. It's a good time, by the way, to get back into collecting vinyl. I inherited a bunch of records from my dad. So when he died, I have a bunch of like 70s and 60s records, but like everyone's pressing vinyl now.
They are.
So it's like a great time to get back into collecting it. Here in Texas, well, we're finally joining the national power grid, but we're currently on our own power grid.
You you have a unique like wholesale power
well,
Texas
every now and then you may hear on the news the power will just go out in Texas for like a month.
Yep.
So it's nice to have physical media like records, books, Blu-ray,
vinyl.
So, if you're fortunate enough to have a generator, you can at least play some music while the internet is out for months at a time. Texas.
Dan, look, man, Monday. I gotta wait till Monday.
Why are you waiting till Monday?
Because I inconveniently live somewhere you can't just conveniently take care of yourself should you need to.
Sorry, man.
I'll play some disc golf, go out in nature, get hopped up on some oxygen.
Disc golf.
Yeah. Honestly, it's an excuse to walk around the woods with my best friend, talk about Lord of the Rings, shoot random inanimate objects and stuff. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen at home, I just found out today that Tactical Llama is one of those Lord of the Rings people. He's one of those people that knows facts. He knows facts about Lord of the Rings.
I do.
I'm like, hey, who's Gablorfendorf? Is he the guy that invented the rings? He'll know the answer to these questions.
Yes. In fact, they're all in here. This is every single book in one book.
Wow. You got the whole. That's crazy. When I was
illustrations and stuff. Yeah.
I was in middle school. I read The Hobbit, and I thought like it was a pretty good book, right? Especially in middle school. It's like the perfect time to read The Hobbit. And then, several years ago, I guess it's probably like 10, 13 years ago at this point, I saw the movie The Hobbit. What the hell? They really just stuffed a lot of extra shit into that movie that did not belong in there. I don't remember any of that from the book.
And they took out a lot of, and that was the thing. At the same time, so The Hobbit, they took a tiny book and made it into, well, we're going to touch briefly on this because we're going to get back to Suds. We can go down there.
The Lord of the Rings rebel. He's like, as a matter of fact, I have some facts I'd like to discuss.
Funny enough.
Point of order.
I'll just say this. We can do another Lord of the Rings stream on another time. However, I will say there's really cool facts, such as when Aragorn deflects that knife that's thrown at him, the actor playing Lurch, who's the Uruk-hai, threw the knife, was supposed to throw it past Aragorn. Aragorn actually deflected it. It was a real knife that was thrown directly at him. But because of the other actor's mask and makeup was like messing up his view, he threw it directly at Viggo Mortensen, who then in the moment deflected it with his sword, and they just kept it in. They're like, yeah, that works.
Viggo Mortensen, if we can just for a moment, I could talk about that guy for hours. He is one of my favorite actors. He's been one of my favorite actors. Before Lord of the Rings, he used to do like a lot of smaller roles, and then now he's blown up. But everyone go back and watch a movie with Al Pacino called Carlito's Way.
I thought you were going to say Eastern Promises.
No, he's the star of that one. Carlito's Way, Viggo Mortensen has a very small role in it, and he's so good in like one scene. You'll never forget. Like, he's so perfect. What a great actor.
He bought every single horse he rode on set because he bonded with them, he connected with them, and he was like, I can't leave them. They're now.
No, he seems like that kind of guy. He did the same thing on Hidalgo. Have you seen that?
Yes, Yes, I don't want to say he's a method actor. No, he literally just lives the part, and then
he seems like
he doesn't even act. He just does it.
He's the kind of guy who I want to have a beer with, and then like just pocket check randomly. Like, Viggo, what are you carrying? Is it nothing? Is it lint and a button? Is it a knife? what are you carrying?
Ticonderoga pencil.
I want to know, seriously. is it a number? What are you carrying? I need to know, Viggo.
He showed up at this.
I would love to pocket check Tom Cruise. Just randomly be like, "What are you carrying, Tom Cruise? You
F-18 Hornet. Here's my fighter jet.
You weird ass mofo. What are you carrying? God,
there's someone he'd be the one who has like a Pokeball and be like, all the secrets of the universe are in this Scientology ball, and you're like, what?
I have the weirdest relationship with Tom Cruise because I simultaneously love that guy, but I've also seen that Scientology video. We've all seen it. Like, he was so committed, and that was like decades ago. Like, he's like knee deep in Scientology.
He is.
You don't even know how far it goes, but yeah. And he's simultaneously like the biggest movie star on planet Earth.
He's quite he's quite, when it comes to his own stunts and what he does, I'll admit, I grew up with him in the first Mission Impossible. Like, he did set a bar.
I mean,
however, you can take a wicked turn and go down Scientology lane.
Listen, I have to separate the art from the artist. Otherwise, there's too many people I have to cancel. You know what I mean? Like, I try not to enjoy it too much, but I still listen to Bump and Grind by R. Kelly every now and then. I can't help it.
I knew you were going.
They played it at every high school dance I ever went to. People, what do you want from me? I can't cancel the song. We grew up with
that. It's like,
I never liked the man, but that song is so good.
Oh man. Well, in that sense, let's go back to Bump and Grind.
Take it back.
Let's roll back to your first EDC kit. Would you consider it a keychain? Would you consider it
that's
your cargo pants in a pocket? Would you consider it the little slot in your chucks that you just stick some?
First of all, I just saw BEEDC in the chat. What's up, Brian?
Let's catch up with the chat for a second here.
That is crazy. I'm actually going to do a video on this. I'm going to recreate my high school EDC and show everyone, because I actually went through my old. I have like a chest full of memories. I have military footlockers. That's what I inherit from everybody.
Wow. Okay.
So I found the actual money clip that I used to carry in high school.
No way.
Which was, dude, it's something I got out of a cereal box. It's like a Richie Rich money clip. And I used to think it was so effing funny to pull out my plastic Richie Rich money clip. And yeah, no one got the joke, but I'm embarrassed by the way that I used to carry things when I was younger, because especially now that EDC is officially a special interest and something that people take a little bit more seriously. I go on Reddit. Dude, Reddit's great because I see all the time like 15-year-old, 16-year-old kids posting their carry. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud of these kids. Like, they're putting way more thought into their carry than I ever did at their age. And they're nailing it too, by the way. There's so many cool options. Excuse me. My EDC when I was in high school was embarrassing. I always carried my wallet in my front pocket because I'm fat, so I never wanted to sit on my wallet.
Okay.
And I carried a trifold like old school. I usually carried a Vans wallet. I got
the Vans checkered wallets and stuff. Yeah, like Canvas
I've got my old Vans
There it
wallet
is
right
with the
here.
Velcro. Let me guess, it has Velcro. Yeah.
Listen to that. Listen to that satisfying. And by the way, like no
Sound of the 90s right there.
ironic bullshit. If you guys have never seen, if you're a wallet carrier and you like a trifold wallet, take a look at the Vans wallet. This is actually way ahead of its time. There's a little change coin purse over on this side, multiple slots for cards. There's a clear panel for your ID. Dude, plenty of space for cash. This wallet way ahead of its time, and I mean, it just looks dope as hell. Look at that thing, dude. I'm a sucker for Vans checker. I collect Vans, for those of you who don't know.
Got some Vans stuff in the other room.
This is the wallet. I have two of these. I have the dark version. So I carried one of these until it exploded. Like I had so much shit in it that I carried a condom for years that I never used. I was and no girl was having sex with sophomore suds. I had a condom just in case. So
you just wanted that imprint on your pants.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's what's funny, like, you know, condoms leave the imprint on a leather wallet. They just kind of make this one bulge out more.
Do.
No point.
Exactly. That's what I learned as well.
Yeah, that was pretty great. And I mean, I always had like, this is, you know, the 80s and 90s. I got a job technically when I was 12. I used to work at Village Inn Pancake House. If anyone's ever heard of Village Inn, I would, on Saturdays and Sundays in the Florida heat in the summer, I would go dress up in the bear costume. I was Bucky the Bear at Village Inn, and I would go stand out on State Road 436 in Central Florida and wave at people and hand out coupons every now and then. And I did this 4 hours a day on Saturdays and Sundays every month for the summer. Wow. So I always had cash money. Like my parents didn't give me an allowance. Oh God, no. I had to get a job. See, but I always had cash because I got paid $36 every day. So every week I was making $72 at like 13 years old. That's a fortune for a 13-year-old kid. So yeah, I always had a pocket full of, like, you know, single dollar bills and bullshit. Yep. Always had my money clip. Always had my house key. And that was it. Yep. So I think my whole keychain amounted to my house key. But then I had, you know, like teenagers, I had a bunch of garbage just hanging off my keychain and buttons, like crap that served no function at all. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shit, you know. That was my embarrassing EDC. And I didn't put it was all utility, obviously. Like, you need your key to get in the house, blah, 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 blah. You didn't have a cell phone at that age. Now I know kids carry cell phones. So there was no real thought that went into it. I didn't start carrying anything cool like Swiss Army knife or anything like that until I was older. As soon as I got at 19, I got a job as a projectionist at a movie theater, and I started carrying a box cutter, a Husky box cutter. And dude, I still have, I
was gonna say, you got that. You still have it.
This exact one. I use black ones around the house now. This is my exact old school orange. Look at the wear and tear on this guy.
Orange. That thing was orange.
I've had this scuffed up for a long time.
Whoa.
So I used to open up all kinds of, you know, film canisters, projection shit, boxes of promotional materials with that. And then moved to Los Angeles for 10 years. I was the vault manager on a TV show called America's Next Top Model. I used this box cutter the whole time I lived in LA, cutting open beta cassettes and all kinds of bullshit.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, I mean, you just put a new blade in these guys. They last forever. And so I carried this mother F the whole time I lived in LA, even though I didn't realize it was illegal to have a box cutter. I never carried it for, you know, like self-defense anyway. I'm not going to pull a knife out in a fight, for Christ's sake. And then, when I moved to Austin in 2013, I very quickly became an office manager for a software company. And of course, as an office manager, this was my most essential EDC. For 8 years, I was opening up boxes every day, opening up grocery shit. So yeah, at some point, God, when was this? Like 4 years ago? I was like, maybe I should get a real, like, grown-up pocket knife if I'm just going to keep carrying a box cutter around. And then right around that time, Blade HQ came out with the Civivi Elementum Desert Warrior, that first knife. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's the knife. That's the donut knife. That's the one I have to get.
Yep.
The least intimidating knife I've ever seen.
Exactly.
No kid is ever going to freak out when I pull that out at a family reunion. No one's going to ask me any questions about it. They're just going to want to see it. So yeah, that was the very start of my modern. And then, I have that knife.
That's what this was for me.
Beautiful.
The Space Cat from Naps. And when I learned that there's individuals like Ben Banters who then design, because growing up it was always like there's Kershaw, there's Swiss Army Knife, there's Bowler, there's like these big companies. You never heard of an individual's name. It was like this designer, unless you were collecting some kind of, I don't know, artisanal putter or something. You're like,
yeah, exactly.
Like so when I came across the Baby Banter and the Naps, and I was like, wait a minute, there's actually like a face to someone who designs these things.
Dude, have you bumped into him at Blade Show or anything?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Personable, enjoyable.
Straight up, bro.
I went up to go talk to him on the day they did the $2 landers. It was a cluster, man. It was an absolute cluster.
It's funny. I have an all black lander. It's dude, honestly, other than the Civivi Baby Banter, I probably carry that lander more than any knife. For whatever reason, I just grab it all the time. I love that knife. It's
ergonomic.
For me, it's the perfect size. Yes. Oh yeah, dude. And it works. So it's a great knife.
It does.
And then I won some of the cat scales from a crispy donut community giveaway. I don't remember when it was, but yeah. So I have a set of cat scales that I always think, should I swap it out?
I like that.
Because April, my wife, loves the cat scales. That. When I took her to Blade Show, Texas, she freaked out when she saw the cat knife. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
It's not just like tactical shit. Maybe you can like get a knife that you would carry.
Yep. I was excited at Blade Show. One of the police officers, security officers walking around, actually had her CDC knife that she bought the year before. And it was refreshing to see the whole all blacked out uniform and then a bright pop of that blue and like neon, and it was just like,
yeah, dude. I'm glad they're still doing the color scheme, like the even though they can't do the sprinkles and the donut stuff, like the raccoon cub that they just put out with the stripes is a legitimately hot knife. Like, yeah, dude, just show that off, man. Just stare at it.
I like you said, the way the pink and the blue turned out are
Miami Vice, bro.
They're a bit more muted and neon-y in the sense of they're not like the pink sprinkle one. No, they're more Miami Vice, more
it's hot. Like that is a cool knife, right? I mean, you just look
at hot fire.
Yeah, hot. I definitely feel like if I was in a European nightclub, you know what I mean?
I do actually.
And I needed to just pull my knife out. Everyone would be like, "Yes, that's the knife." I was attempting a European accent right then. I
don't know.
Epic fail.
This one, this just says opulence. The QSP penguin with its mirror.
Wait a second, that's a penguin?
No, I mean dolphin. Sorry, I said
dolphin.
Penguin.
I was like
QSP dolphin. Let's see.
Listen, I don't want to lie to you. I don't like that knife. I'm not a fan of that knife.
I get it.
On me.
Well, it's not. At first, so I had to check it out because it's very shiny. However, the weird part is it's stupid ergonomic.
Is it?
It is. It's insane. This is so natural to hold on to. Like and then this slight little bulge here. It is.
Tactical Llama's a big fan of the bulge, everybody.
I'll send it your way so you can hold on to it yourself.
Repeating what he said. I'm a fan of the QSP Penguin, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And what's funny is I had people tell me that I needed to get a Penguin Mini, because everyone who gets to know me knows I love them tiny little knives. Size does not matter to me. The smaller, the better. And the Mini Penguin is another. Oh my God, dude! Look at it. Look at the freaking. It makes me want to swear. I'm sorry. We're trying to
titanium one.
13. That knife is basically perfect. When you
it's so good.
Yeah, dude.
S35, like it's bonkers.
Anybody who watches my videos, if you see me unboxing, that's my unboxing knife in the Tinker. Dude, I keep that thing right by my side all the time because it's so perfect for unboxing stuff.
And honestly, it's deployed. It is pretty much the length of a box cutter.
I like that
box cutter.
That version's nice too. What is that?
This is the S35VN carbon fiber version from Caviso. I sent it off to Way of Knife.
Damn.
So Caviso makes hardware for the penguins. So you can get this Penguin pivot here, and you can get all these pieces of hardware already anodized from QS or from Caviso.
Wow.
However, they don't fit the Mini. Only the pivot does. Well, I went ahead and swapped out the pivot and sent the whole thing off. And funny enough, Caviso makes a teal hardware set, and it's the set I wanted, and it came back from Way of Knife.
Wait, I'm sorry. I just have to point out, Lanyard Man says Pocket Theory is doing his best Andy Reid. You have no idea how much all of my friends love to give me shit ever since I grown a mustache. I never hear that. But I'm actually happy. 5 years ago, nobody gave a shit about the Chiefs or Andy Reid. And now I have a Halloween costume for the rest of my life. I never have to worry about what I'm going to be for Halloween. All the kids will know. I throw the Chiefs hat on. Oh, it's Andy Reid. I went to Japan. When I went to Japan in July, I swear to God, 2 different Japanese people took pictures with me. And I think it's because they thought I was really Andy Reid. Like they just randomly walked up to me and were like, picture? And I'm like, yeah. Just random picture with a Japanese person I didn't know. It's great.
You know, do you know Stephen Amell, who played Oliver Queen, the Arrow?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know him, but handsome devil.
6 years ago, I was on a flight over with my daughter to visit my dad and stuff, and I was pretty clean shaven, short hair. We're on the plane, and someone just taps on my shoulder, and it's this older lady. She goes, "Excuse me,
you do look
like my daughter." No, she was asking for her daughter. Her daughter was like hyperventilating, thinking she was sitting next to this guy. She was freaking out. She was like, "Oh my God, I said," because he also had a kid the same age.
As soon as you said it, though, I'm like, "Holy shit, you do look like the guy." Before Andy Reid, the only person, and I mean, obviously, people would always be like, "Ha, Chris Farley, John Candy." I don't look like either one of them. They're much more handsome. Every now and again, somebody would see how I would behave, and they would say, "Oh, you remind me of Jack Black." And I've grown to appreciate Jack Black, but for decades, I hated that comparison because, quite frankly, I thought I was funnier than Jack Black. Obviously, history has proven he is a major star, but yeah, I always hated that comparison. So I have tons and tons and tons, like tons of celebrity stories, by the way. Like when I moved to Los Angeles, my first year there, I managed a 6-screen movie theater in Calabasas, which is basically like the Beverly Hills of the Valley. Okay. So any celebrity you can think of, I've probably met them twice. Okay. Bruce Willis brought me ice cream one time just because I let him into it. Yeah. Tom Cruise bought me ice cream one time. He's actually a nice guy, even though he's a little bit weird, a little weirdo.
Is buying ice cream like a Hollywood thing for they wanted?
No, my theater was right next to a Cold Stone Creamery.
Got it.
I would very frequently, I had this trick that I would do with celebrities like to come and watch their own movies, by the way, for people who don't know. So they would come to my theater and they would
they're like Kanye listening to his own music in his living room.
Yeah. They would always try to ask me subtly like which screening had the least amount of seats sold so they wouldn't be in a crowded theater. So I would always like certain people, I would just know what they were asking for. And Bruce Willis, he would always bring his kids with him. So I would always hook him up with like the later show that nobody was in.
Makes sense.
He'd be like, "Okay, cool. We're going to go get some ice cream. You want some ice cream, Suds?" I was Suds.
Brilliant.
Suds is easy to remember. By
Bruce
the way.
Seriously called you. You were on a first name basis with Bruce.
Yeah. I mean, back before he slapped Chris Rock, I met Will Smith a bunch of times. He's a very nice guy. Like before he was a judge on America's whatever, Howie Mandel used to come to my theater to record segments. So like he's actually the person that got me started fist bumping people because he doesn't shake hands.
Okay.
And I decided I like that system, especially in LA, because everyone's got dirty hands. I'm like, fist bumping. That makes sense. Okay.
Oh my gosh, we've had all kinds of stuff. We've got Kelly White talking about the game on SNES and Sega Genesis. I think
oh snap.
Goodness, what were we talking about? Tactical Llama has their own chat. Right.
Jim Miller's in the house. Dark Water's in the house.
So we don't have chat on screen, do we?
I've been playing with the old Chickadee Chavez tonight. This is one of my favorite knives since we were talking about. I don't carry this knife as often as I want to because I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt it. But I love this knife.
I wonder, is there a way we can get chat on screen?
Is it not? It's on screen on if you're watching on YouTube, it's on screen. Oh, you mean like have it actually show on the screen?
Oh, I mean, if it's, I wasn't sure if everyone could see.
If you're on
chat.
YouTube, yeah, the chat's over on the side. I think it is anyway.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if they could see if we're doing your channel, my channel, or the combined. Because on the vertical it goes combined. However, we're not vertical.
We like to keep it combined on the vertical, people. You know what I'm saying?
However, we're not vertical.
Oh yeah, it's there. Wow.
Sweet.
You watch your language over there. Getting combined on the vertical sounds naughty. Goodness.
Oh, BEDC saying at Suds, if Luke hasn't heard of Chavez, then you're not going to do it.
That's actually a good point. Although my favorite Luke story is his $400 flashlight that he dumped on the floor, like getting it out of the box and cracked it, which is one of the reasons that I refuse to upgrade to a expensive flashlight, because of all the EDC things. For whatever reason, I've dropped like 6 different i3Ts. Haven't broken any of them, but I'm like, the minute that I buy an expensive flashlight, that will happen to me. So I'm happy with my $20 flashlights. Well, there's a couple of words that I've been meaning to mention to you, Mr. Llama. And this is the perfect opportunity while we're all here in the Tree of Trust on a Saturday night.
Oh, goodness.
I'm literally going to do some videos about this because 2 things, when you talk about the philosophy behind everyday carry and why we carry what we carry and why we pick certain things, scarability and losability.
Mm-hmm.
Losability is actually already a pre-existing word that I'm kind of trying to repurpose, and scarability, basically, how much are you going to give a shit if you scuff up something that you're carrying?
Mm-hmm.
So this Chavez is in flawless condition, and look how pristine. I mean, I love a good plain knife that's just plain surface, nothing on it, no fancy etching, nothing, right? But if I put a scratch on that, it's going to upset me because I spent $300 on this knife. And for me, that's a lot of money for a knife, right?
That is.
But I've got a couple of Kershaws. One of them cost me $8. My Civivi baby banters were like $60.
Yep.
So if I beat the shit out of those knives and they get scarred up and scuffed up, I'm not going to be quite as upset. So they have a higher scarability factor than my Chavez. Same goes for if I lose something, right? If I'm carrying a $300 Leatherman Arc,
is it replaceable? How replaceable is it?
If I leave my expensive Leatherman multi-tool in a handicap stall of a bathroom because I was, trying to mess with a bolt like EDC people do, I'm going to be pissed off if I lose that. Whereas, the Leatherman Wave that I got for $30 at the Texas State Surplus Store, if I lose that, I will be upset, but I won't be out $300, right? So losability is a big deal. So that factors a lot into all the stuff that I carry. It's not that I refuse to carry expensive things. It's not that I'm too cheap or whatever. Like, I own a couple of expensive items, but the ones that I find I don't care about scarring and the ones I don't care about losing are the ones that I end up carrying more often. I don't know if I planned it that way. It just happens.
That's true. And on that real quick note, Dan did ask for an LEP. I need a good LEP light covered on the LEDs. This is the, this is the LEP DX Reach. Used E6000 to put those light rods in there. BEEDC. Has some good. I've got to check out the small mini one, the $70-$80 one, and then I went for this one as well.
Excuse me, can you please tell me what the lumens are? Do you know what the lumen statistics?
A lot.
It's a lot of lumens.
It's a lot. You can see it from 46 miles away.
Bro, I see some videos on Instagram when people light up an entire mountainside with their pocket flashlight.
Well, okay, that's
Jesus.
That's the one in the corner there. This one will light up a shoebox on a mountainside a mile away.
Hey, man,
So
you never know when that's gonna.
yeah, but the nice thing about the LEP is you can be found. So it's pretty much like you can set this
Yes.
up and it'll be
Yeah.
a beacon. So you can be found, as well as it's really good for in structures or in the woods. If you're trying to see something like a single target or single area and not alert anything around you, it's good for that too.
Well, it's. I find it interesting because well, are
And
you
on the water.
somebody are I mean, I guess are you somebody that goes camping frequently?
Mhm.
Are you outdoors?
So say you go on the water, like canoeing, camping, hiking, or it's
Yeah.
misty. The moment there's water particles in the air and you turn a torch on or your high beams, you're going through hyperspace with Chewie, man.
I'm
You're
sorry.
cruising.
Did you say a torch? What are you in? Are you in British all of a sudden? What's happening?
You want me to say pocket
You turn
thrower?
on your torch. I'm kidding. I'm just
Whip out your
out
pocket
your torch.
thrower. Thrower.
What it's funny, like when I first started getting into putting together a complete EDC, because again, I started with a knife, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm old now. I don't like being caught in situations where I can't see shit or I have to use somebody else's pen. I'm gonna start carrying a knife, a pen, and a flashlight. So you start researching what flashlight. We all go through these phases. Obviously, I settled on the Olight i3T, and I really committed. I've got like 25 of them. I love it's a great flashlight, right? It's the perfect size for me. It's the exact amount of light that I need. But I did notice when I started asking around, like, hey, what kind of flashlight should I get? People kept pushing me for like more and more lumens. Bro, you need more. And I finally was like, listen, mother F, I'm not the night watchman at a haunted insane asylum. Like, I don't need 800,000 lumens to like. There are
from 400 meters away.
Oh yeah, if I needed a flashlight for my truck and I was like the kind of guy that drove out into the wilderness or anything like that, I would have the brightest flashlight possible. I'd blind every bear. In Austin, Texas, dude. People I feel like, where do these people live that they need these lumens? I mean, do they live in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains? I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny enough.
But there's a lot of people faking the funk. There's a lot of city dwellers. There's a lot of urban EDC peoples who are like my favorite thing. And I will continue I will make fun of this right to
I'm
these
looking forward to
faces.
this one. I'm looking forward to this.
Ferro rods. That is my absolute favorite. Obviously I have a gigantic ferro rod that I got off CountyCom. It's like my favorite.
Is that what you call it?
It's the big one.
Okay.
Like, if you're gonna have a ferro rod, you might as well have the biggest one possible.
Might as well have a massive, no one wants to sit there going,
yeah, dude. That's my biggest. I love these little teeny ferro rods that people I know Wazoo makes them.
Like, scrape them. You're like, scrape what?
I think it's cool as shit, but I'm like, dude, if you're gonna use a ferro rod, you're already acknowledging you're starting a fire in the hardest way possible. Like, other than maybe rubbing twigs together.
You better have some magnesium or something.
Throw some sparks, baby. Throw as many sparks as possible. But yeah, I don't. People that EDC a ferro rod, but they live in like Dallas. I'm like, what are you doing? You're not even near a tree. You couldn't light a fire. There is no forest near you. Like, what are you lighting a dumpster fire with your ferro rod? What are you doing?
Go dumpster diving. They need to destroy the evidence.
And I think it's great. Like, obviously, we talked about like Boy Scouts the other day. Like, when you're in the Cub Scouts, they try to teach you fire starting techniques and stuff. But like, I remember even as a scout thinking, holy shit, this is a last resort. My dad was a smoker, so my dad had a Bic lighter in his pocket 24/7.
For his pipe.
If I needed to start a fire, the first thing I would do is just ask my dad for his lighter, right? So in my fire kit, I do have a video on this. It's like my second or third video. Like, my first 7 options in my fire starting kit are all lighters. All of them, dude. I see these people have fire kits. They're like, well, I've got one Bic lighter and like a bunch of other. I've got a tinder scraper. And like, what are you doing?
I have 7.
I have 7 different kinds of lighters, and I will use all 7 of them before I even try a match. And then after that, I've still got 3 options before I get to a ferro rod. You guys are crazy. I'm not trying to. I watch Survivor with my wife every week. Every time they make fire, somebody gets nervous and fucks it up.
I did send funny thing. I actually, when Survivor first came out, I was actually living on the same island as They were just on the other side of the island, dude.
Oh, wow. Dude, I actually watched like a little Vice YouTube clip on the first season of Survivor. I can't believe that show. It's been on the air 23 years, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's wild.
It was literally being filmed on the other side of Kuala Lumpur.
That's crazy.
What? Yeah.
What were you doing there? Were you just like
living?
Huh. You know, I was just on an island with a bunch of expats, you know, doing my thing.
No, I was on the other side of the island in the capital city, not on. That's the funny thing is when you think about it, you're like, they're in a capital city of Malaysia where like the Twin Towers, like they were like, and they're surviving. Like we'd watch the show and be like, Survivor? What?
My wife.
That's what we did in the woods in Finland when our parents were like, goodbye, lock the door, and you're like. We got wild. 12 hours till we eat again.
I want to go to Finland. So I want to go to Norway and Finland. Those are both on my list. Like now that we have been to Iceland, the next step to us is going to Norway because we have our friends that live in Iceland have relatives in Norway. So we're like, okay, that's the next stop. I love all that stuff. Gorgeous, gorgeous country, I tell you.
Fantastic.
Nothing like that in the States, baby.
There isn't. Let's Jay says go Bills.
Go Bills. I do have dude. I'm one of the rare Chiefs fans that is not a Bills hater because I respect Bills fans because basically they're just like Chiefs fans except they're from New York, right? Like they're just working class people. They're not like, I mean, dude, I think we can all agree Patriots fans, you know what I'm saying?
I'll agree with that one.
I mean, I grew up in Florida, so I used to root for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's you know, that's like being a Chiefs fan used to be, completely thankless. Dude, it's so miserable being a Bucs fan.
Like a
right now, I'm
also fan. Now they're crushing it.
I live in Texas. I'm also a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. That is painful right now. It is. I'm so glad that the Chiefs win every week so that I can watch the Dallas Cowboys lose every week and not cry about it. Like, holy crap.
My wife's a Taylor Swift fan, so
I don't dislike Taylor Swift, but obviously I can't name a single Taylor Swift song. Like even the ones they play in commercials, I think I know. I like pop music as much as the next person. I grew up in the 80s. I used to appreciate, you know, Madonna and stuff, but I feel like I'm just too old to listen to Taylor Swift. I would be the creepy guy that like, oh my God. Do you see that guy that looks like Andy Reid listening to Taylor Swift? He's a little.
Is that Andy Reid listening to?
He's really bobbing his head over there. That fat Andy Reid guy. That's a little creepy. A little weird.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So let's see. I did have the scrolling.
Fan, let me just say, as a Chiefs fan, the whole Taylor Swift thing is so annoying. Like it's such a distraction.
Distraction.
This is our time to shine, baby, not Taylor Swift's. Okay. Travis Kelce is
it's due. All coincidence. I did have scrolling. What is an expensive EDC item you have accidentally broken? I'm curious what people did.
I've broken several knives. I think the most expensive knife I broke was $110. What knife was that?
Wow.
It was a Civivi knife. And it was the same story that you've heard a million dumbasses like me do. They tried to get a little too crafty using their knife like a pry bar and snapped it. What was the knife? It wasn't an Elementum. Now I'm going to have to like look at my purchase record. Yeah, so that's probably the most expensive thing I've broken.
Jim Miller's dropped his O-Light several times today.
Oof.
Someone melted a O-Light lens. That happens on the old Arcfelds because they were using plastic. So
I'm honestly surprised at how, because I have tile floors downstairs, so I've dropped an i3T numerous times, and I have an i5R. That's my house flashlight. I've dropped that thing like 3 times, and it's still going strong, man. It's not even, it doesn't even show damage.
There's
the i5R is a great flashlight too, especially for just, you know, fetching cat toys out from under the couch and stuff like that. Perfect.
Exactly. It's that and the Parent 2. I really like the Parent 2 Mini because you can either set it down. Same thing with the i5, just set it on its side.
Like I haven't gone down the rabbit hole of like bigger, more powerful flashlights, mostly
Mhm.
because I don't need a more powerful flashlight, but then also I don't have any more money to spend on things, dude. Like I'm on the Olight Facebook page, and there are people with some wild Olight collections. Like,
That's called disposable income. Like,
yeah,
why?
I get it, man.
Yeah, and
You know,
it's real like, and that's the amazing thing about EDC is that there's people in this community that have limitless, I mean, unlimited funds, and then there are individuals who literally save up for ages for one item.
yep.
And the amazing thing is, I don't think you can discount either individual is more of a collector than the other.
Well,
I
no, that's why I'm gonna do a video sneak preview where I talk about the concept of budget EDC.
Mhm.
Because you and I, we have our channels are relatively new, but a few months back, and BEEDC will remember this. There's like an EDC kind of roundtable group where they all put out videos about budget EDC, like EDC NC and a few other people, max level EDC. They all had like budget EDC videos, and I love stuff like that because I'm all
Mhm.
about like inexpensive gear. But I am I want to reinvent the way we talk about EDC.
Yeah.
I object to the word budget because
Mhm.
I think it's become kind of a pejorative, if that makes any sense. Like the
Yep.
way people use it.
Almost
Um,
derogatory in a way.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess any niche hobby that you talk about, whether it's, collecting stamps or whatever it is, there's always going to be snobs
Oh,
or
yeah.
like gatekeepers that are part of that niche community.
Some kind of tiers of elites
Yeah,
or some
no,
perceived tiers.
it
That's what I'm gonna
doesn't
say.
matter.
It's all perceived.
I go out and I spend $300 on a knife that I think is awesome. And then, of course, there's going to be some knife nerd that's like, oh, is that super steel? Is it Magna Cut? Was it made in America? And my answer to all those questions is fuck off. I'm sorry. But
It's fine.
like seriously, like EDC nerds are just like any other, like the gatekeepers of the community. Like,
Mhm.
oh, you're not a real knife collector unless you buy American. Like, what, dude, those days are over. I'm sorry, but the days of everything out of China is crappy. That's a myth now. We all know that there are in certain parts of the world, like if you want a cooking knife, for example, we all know Japanese make great cooking knives.
They
We
make
all
great
know
cooking knives.
Germans make great pocket knives. We all, you know what I
They
mean? Like
do.
Americans aren't the only people that have cornered the market. If I could, I would buy American as often as possible. I'm a patriotic guy, come from a military family, but I'm also cheap as hell. So, boom.
Perfect.
Exactly the point.
I
So
love
that's
it.
when I talk about scarability and losability, that all features into just because you're carrying
Yeah.
something inexpensive doesn't mean you're cheap or that you don't appreciate quality gear. Because I don't think just because something is in the budget price range, it doesn't automatically mean it's cheap. Like,
Exactly.
again, that ship has sailed. I think we're at a point now. Dude, I talk about this all the time. It's one of the best times in history to be a knife collector, to be an EDC
Mhm.
collector, to just be somebody who's into the hobby because there's so many options now.
There
So,
are.
dude, they're selling Civivi knives at Walmart,
Yep.
right? And it doesn't mean that Civivi quality dropped and plummeted. It just means like they're more available now.
Availability.
Right.
Yeah, which is great, which honestly, I
Yeah.
think if more people have the right tools or and my favorite part about the Walmart thing was the exposure. Getting
Yeah.
more knives out there in a very open place like
Yep.
Walmart honestly takes the excuse my pun, but I'm not sorry for the pun. It takes the edge off the look of knives.
Pun intended.
It honestly takes away like when it becomes more of a normal thing when you see it at the grocery store when you're seeing like I mean dude if Food Line or
Absolutely.
grocery stores or Kroger started having like if In-N-Out Burger offered it would literally be like oh it's like that's
Dude,
how that becomes a normal thing in
absolutely.
society. It just
It's the same thing
becomes more available.
as the donut knives. Whenever that was a
Mhm.
hot button topic in the EDC community, like everybody with an EDC channel had to have a take on the donut knives. I'm like, look, is it putting knives in the hands of more non-knife people, more casuals? Then perfect, because at one point I was a casual.
Yep.
Donut knives turned me into a legitimate knife collector. I've got like 50 knives now. None
That's
of them,
nice,
none
yeah.
of them are super fancy, but like it literally started with a Civivi Elementum. anybody who's held an Elementum in their hands, I mean, dude, the year that knife came out, it was winning awards. Like no one would shut up about the Elementum.
It's a great design.
The fact that it's
Amazing.
widely available doesn't mean that it's like, you know, not a good knife anymore, but there are snobs who are like, oh, I'm over it. I'm only going to carry my Chris Reeves Sebenza, which I bring that up because it's a Grail knife. I want a Sebenza. But I also like, if I ever own a Sebenza, I'm never going to throw it in anybody's face and brag about it. Like, there are people in the community that do shit like that. It amuses me, but I
have a question for you.
Yeah, I have an answer
on that one. What's the most unexpected item that you've purchased that you fell in love with? That you ended up loving?
That's crazy. You know, the one thing that really pops into mind is this little guy. I didn't buy this though. This was a gift.
Oh, buddy.
I would have never in my life I would have never purchased this. Are you kidding me?
I've passed on purchasing that a million times.
This. Yeah. I looked at this online and I'm like, nah, that's for the Olight nerds. I'm way too cool for that. I'm suds. I'll never. The minute I held this thing in my hand, bro, I'm like, oh, my little buddy.
You turd.
Dude.
Oh, man.
This guy,
Whoa.
I mean, look at how bright this fucker is. This is like.
Holy crap. You're like David Bowie in Labyrinth.
No kidding. Do you like my Labyrinth?
Do you recall how they did that? He actually, that wasn't his hand.
No, it was a crystal ball juggler. Yeah,
who was literally like crouched behind him in the most like hobgoblin golem looking way, and was like had to do it blind.
I am expected to know these facts about Labyrinth because I am as old as I am. How the hell do you know these facts about? Like you were spitting facts about Abyss earlier. How do you even know about the Abyss? You weren't even born when the Abyss came out.
Oh no, I was a technical director for 4 or 5 years, so I love cinematography. In fact, even after the fact, funny enough, if you can figure out what we were doing, but we went to a film show, we submitted a film of ours, and we all went wearing turquoise toboggans or turquoise beanies.
Wow.
Who were we?
Turquoise beanies. Why do you got to put me on the spot? Who are you?
Have you ever heard of Life Aquatic?
Oh God, yeah. not my favorite Wes Anderson, but I do appreciate it.
We all just walk in there, and it was no one really did the whole Wes Anderson. So Wes Anderson was still like,
yeah.
What the? So we walk into this independent film festival, submitted our film, and we're all sitting there wearing our beanies. Where those people in the row that you could just see glowing in the dark. Yeah. So the Olight buddy. Okay.
Well, that was just the first thing that popped into my mind. Let me think about that. Guys, put some stuff in the chat. What's your most unexpected EDC purchase? Well, you know, I never expected in the beginning to give a crap about pouches. I would see people posting their pouches, and I would kind of think like, dorks, just put it in your pocket. And then very quickly, I realized that in order to accommodate the carry that I wanted to have every day, I would have to have bulky pockets, and I don't do bulky pockets under any circumstances.
Likewise.
So yeah, then I was like, oh shit, that's a pouch. That's where that comes in. And then, you know, I had to go on the hunt for the Viperade VE15. And in order to get there, I had to go through a bunch of pouches that I didn't like quite as much. And because of that, I ended up finding Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch, which that very quickly became like one of my favorite organizers just to keep gear in. Because I mean, dude, just first of all, the idea of it, just an American guy in his garage making shit. I love it, right? I love that. And then second of all, the pouches are badass. Like they're quality materials. Like they're the perfect size for the type of gear that I carry. So yeah, once you go down the pouch rabbit hole, if you guys watch my channel, it's ridiculous now. It's the same thing as knives. I've probably got like 30 pouches.
The pouch game is real.
Yeah, man. Real. And then you bump into people like, Dickinson Trading Post, right? Like, dude.
Have you checked out Long Hunter Supply?
Yeah, well, because of you, I have, yeah. Like,
you want me to send you one?
Yes. Anything you want to send me, send it to me. When I was asking you about your live concert, pouch, like what do you take to a live show? You showed me that pouch, and I'm like, oh, that's a dope little. Like you, I appreciate a pouch that you can unzip and then flip the top back so that you can see what's inside.
And then this was their other one.
Nice.
So
very nice.
A little more square compared to. So I like the square one because exactly that
rectangle would work perfectly with my pouch plate. That's why I like that guy.
And you're right. The flipping back, like, dude, I can access everything in this pry bar, and then at the same time, it just
clutch.
Yeah.
My peace of mind pouch is like that. I have a little coin purse from Rough Enough. If you guys have ever heard of that company, I carry that like anytime I leave the house longer than 30 minutes, I take that pouch with me. It's great.
Flip over wax canvas. I'll send this one your way to check out.
Dude, totally. If like, see on the other side, that whole that loop strip, I would just stick that to my waist.
And I like how it's got these 2 loops here, so you can actually have it in line to something like under your pouch, maybe, or.
That's the other thing that I really
just released a video with that carabiner link from Night Eyes.
Yeah, the gear, dude. I have it right here.
Yeah, and you're like, what if I use this like belly dancer under my hip pack?
The guy from Night Eyes actually reached out to me on Instagram and was showing me how he uses this. He just loads a bunch of shit onto this and then stuffs it in his pocket. I wouldn't do that because it's not organized enough, but like it works for him. And dude, he had all kinds of shit on his keychain. He literally sent me a picture and it was his massive ass keychain. He had a Leatherman PS and a Leatherman CS and then a bunch of Night Eye shit all on his gear line. And it was just one big mass that he shoves into his pocket.
Dude, he's like, watch this bolo action, takes out, throws it. He's like, knocked you down.
I swear to God, he could just whip somebody with it though. There's probably like 3 pounds of shit on there. He's like, whap.
Well, Bradford Mitchell's Grail knife is the K-Bar Spork.
Oh, hello.
I don't know what that is, but now I'm gonna look it up. I know what K-Bar is, and I know what a spork is.
On it, yeah. I'll take it.
I hope it's just a. Oh, not Life Aquatic K-Bar Spork. That's weird.
There are some really badass knives out there, but one of the reasons that the Sebenza is my ground knife is because it's just there are some really plain looking Sebenzas, and I love a plain looking knife. Like the more decorative you make it, the less I'm interested.
Yeah, that's why I like Asher knives. I absolutely love the aesthetic. None of them go over $150.
Nice,
and they're good blade steels from 20 CV to 90. Some of them have. I think he's going to do a 154 CM run as well.
That's my other favorite thing is, and this nobody should take this personally, but my other favorite thing about the knife community is all the knife steel nerds that exist.
Yes.
Everybody is suddenly an expert in knife steels and heat treating and all the different, like, I really only pay attention to one YouTube channel. Exactly.
That's why. This is why we are.
But that guy he's got his own YouTube channel, and all you have to do is pay attention to what he says. You can just ignore all the other the self-anointed experts in the community.
Yep. I don't look anything up anymore online. I literally reference this. I read through this. I when I want to learn about a steel, I go to the chapter and I'm like,
that's by the way,
and then I watch his videos.
The last time I checked Amazon, that book was on sale for a ridiculous price, like $14 or something. So you guys should get it.
Well, his new book came out. It talks about it doesn't talk about like knife steel creation or this book. It's kind of a preface of how he got into it and something more along the lines of heat treating and stuff and focusing, but it is separate. So he hasn't written it to the sense of you have to buy both books to get everything. No, they're completely different topics.
A lot of people think that like MagnaCut and a lot of these super steels are literally brand new. They were just invented in a lab like last year. And some of this shit's been around since the 60s. I mean, they've been playing with it in other applications. They just weren't making pocket knives out of it. So like the steels, I think it's all great, right? Mm-hmm. And like you're somebody who sharpens knives. So for me, as tempted as I am to get into the MagnaCut I guess, space. I want to be able to sharpen my knives periodically, and I don't want to have to like get any specialized equipment or like put any special effort into it. So like just a basic, regular steel knife is fine with me. I don't need like anything M390V. I don't need anything too fancy. But yeah, there's the other thing that I always hear is like you'll be debating somebody, or I shouldn't even say that. I don't ever debate people on knife steel because I'm not that into it, but you'll be in a discussion and somebody be like, well, I design knives. So, and you're like, well, I get it. A lot of people are designing knives now, though. It's the barrier to entry. It's like filmmaking. As somebody who's been in that game too, you understand, like, if you wanted to make a movie in 1988, you needed to have a lot of resources and you needed film to shoot it on. And if you wanted to make a movie in 1999, it was a little bit easier. And if you want to make a feature film now, the barrier to entry is nothing. You can shoot it on your iPhone. And if you have a cinematographer that knows how to light it, it will look good, right?
The Super 8 opened up a lot of accessibility. Handheld,
well, like, anybody with a YouTube channel has the option to make a knife now. So like, and this is not a dig on anybody, but it's just a fact. Tri-State's making knives. Melissa Backwoods is making a knife. Like you can design a knife. It doesn't mean that I will treat you as an expert on knife steel because you've designed a knife.
Exactly.
But like, people in the community like to throw that down like a trump card. Like, yeah, well, I design knives, so my opinion matters. It's like, well, I'll still pay attention to the guy that wrote the book if you don't mind.
Yeah, I still have to, you got to approach it as the 3-cup philosophy, and that's something even when I approach a new trade, a new skill, something I've done for a while, like knife sharpening. When someone hands me a knife or a tool, I still have to approach it with a 3-cup philosophy. Upside down cup is someone who is not ready to accept new information or learn. The cracked cup, any information that is gained is lost. You don't retain it. You're not ready to learn. And then the dirty cup, your previous knowledge or what you know already is tainting new knowledge. You haven't accepted that you do not know. Once you go, okay, I don't know anything about this, I'm going to start fresh and go from there. That's when you finally get a perspective on what you're working with. Because D2, I think it's a really bad rap because of its age.
Come on, dude.
However, it can. There's some that shit is crazy sharp. Okay, D2 is insanely tough, and you can get that stupid sharp.
Dude, I don't know the exact steel, but if I wanted to dig out my grandfather's buck knife that he bought in 1956,
probably Bowler,
dude,
or
I understand that it's not a modern steel, but my grandpa got that knife as sharp as hell. He could shave his arm with it, and it held its edge. Like my grandpa used that knife way more than I use any of my knives. Like my grandpa was an outdoorsman. This is my my Mormon grandpa who lived in Utah. My other grandpa was a lieutenant colonel in military. It's like, the men's men. But yeah, that buck knife is sharp, and it's still, if I were to pull it out now, it's still sharp. So I understand that super steel is the hot new thing, and that marketing is I get it. Like, and I don't knock anybody for whatever they want to carry. My whole thing is carry what you want. Like I literally don't give a shit. You'll never hear me tell you what to carry, but please don't tell me you're carrying a super steel knife because it's better than ... Like better than is so subjective. Like,
And honestly, I don't think the steel makes that big of a difference. Personally,
if you listen to the experts, they'll tell you it doesn't. They
actually have a song on it.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert. No, I actually have a song.
I remember when you posted that. That was genius.
Edge geometry, people. Edge geometry. I have a song about it. It's not the steel.
Other YouTube creators will just talk about stuff. Tactical Llama will make a song about it, y'all. That's the commitment level that we're dealing with here. All right.
It's the form that keeps you warm. It's not the steel.
Like, dude, I guess that's what I like. I guess that's why I feel about all the trends in the EDC community, right? As somebody,
there are trends. There are tons of them.
Yeah. Dude. When I first got involved, I thought like, oh, this is the hot new thing, and it was all the stuff that was happening right then, and then you realize, oh, that's dude, every month something new is. It's just like every other hobby and niche thing. They're always going to be trying to sell you something. So, like, I mean, listen, I know that the Ridge wallet is everywhere, right? Like, everyone in the EDC community loves the Ridge wallet. I don't own one because I don't carry a wallet, so I'm never going to buy one. But I get it, man. The Ridge needs to innovate. They can't keep putting out the same products, and then they have to put a little twist on it. Cool. Again, as somebody who's to combine different things together and build kits and so forth, I think it's a blessing because there's just more and more options for us.
Yep.
When there's a company like Night Eyes that has 15 different doohickeys.
Yeah.
Perfect, because now I can pick whichever one I like the best, or maybe I just go with another company altogether.
Exactly.
The fact
options
is
like, nice.
Dude, I'm an options guy. The fact there's a million different bit holders now, like,
oh
come
my
on,
gosh,
dude.
Yes. Just for bits. Like
bit holder
we're not even getting into the bits themselves.
That's what I'm screaming. Yeah.
Holders.
But I mean, but that's funny.
Battery storage containers.
Even with the bits, like this year, I discovered the Steinway bit set because I saw Earthling EDC talking about it. And that's like, dude, I ended up buying 4 different sets of those bits because they fit so perfectly. Other than that, prior to the Steinway bit set, my favorite bits are the Linus Tech Tip Store.
Yes,
these little teeny, they're like little shaved down bits. Oh, they're so good.
I'm a huge fan of the
and they're quality bits.
And that's why I'm a big fan of the Skiff Bearings finger bit holder. Essentially,
very nice.
It's just big enough so that way you can essentially have a bit between your fingers here. So if you need to hold something and use a screw, and I'm a huge fan of just using the bit themselves, honestly. But Bando, what do you think of the knife tubers that start to talk crap about a company because they don't send them stuff?
I really don't, but I know exactly what you're talking about, Bando. And in my head, I'm always like, oh my God, dude, cry harder. Are you serious? So and so didn't, like, no one sends me free shit. I still make videos. Come on, bro.
And actually that leads up to my next question. But yeah, I'm Bando. It's the individuals that complain about not getting free stuff, I feel like they are wanting some attention from their complaining.
No shit.
Like I have kids. I'm raising adults.
Yeah.
I got a BS filter. Okay.
Bro,
like there's some things that just I don't have time to focus on.
Thanks for saying that. Every now and then,
that's a very good point.
I have friends who are like my age that like to
get too focused on it. They get too focused.
Like, listen, you can't. This is just a good life lesson for everybody. You can't whine your way out of a problem. You got to learn to solve problems and or sometimes you just have to tough your way out. You know what I mean? I'm not getting free stuff from a company. No, like, really? I appreciate anytime someone does send me something for whatever. Like when Night Eyes sent me that box of free crap, like they have my loyalty forever because I wasn't expecting free stuff. I didn't get into making YouTube videos so that people would send me free shit. I think it's a nice side bonus, especially like there are people that want you to make videos about stuff like Woobin. That's a company we all know. Like they asked me to talk about a flashlight. And I just honestly told them no, thank you, because I don't actually use any of your products.
Yeah.
If you want to send me something, like I'll try it out, but I'm not going to guarantee that I'll make a video because what if I hate it? You know what I mean? I don't want to. I'm not going to make a video where I talk shit about a product either. I just won't make a video. I'll move on to something where I can say something positive.
Makes sense.
And who knows? Like as your channel's growing pretty quickly, my channel's growing. Like who knows? People might want to shower me with free crap one of these days. I'm not going to say no to any of it, but like that type of stuff doesn't get me excited either. At least not the same way I'm sure it would get other people excited.
What I do recommend for individuals, if you want to build a rapport, I recommend, continue doing what you're doing. If you're purchasing your products, which I do, I purchase my products that I show. I even have that in my description.
Yeah.
These products are purchased by me. And the items that were donated for the giveaway, I very clearly said they were sent by this company for the giveaway. The reason I say that is because these are from companies I've placed orders with, Skiff, QSP. I've purchased things from them, and when I do this, I actually send them a message and say, "Thank you so much for the support and the product." There's obviously a reason I'm buying their products, so I thank them. I'll send a message on Instagram or something, say, just placed my order, blah blah blah, for the new QSP Canary. Excited to check it out. And most of the time, you never get anything back, but every once in a while, you get a reply that says, "Thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it," or an extra like on your post here or there. But honestly, in the end, I'm just thanking them
Yeah.
because I appreciate what they're
Yep.
doing. Fast forward to now, the whole cluster of just getting things together for these giveaways, and I was like, I would really love to just give stuff back because that's what I love to do. And so I reached out to these companies and I said, "Hey, thank you so much for the support. My channel's grown. Your products, like, I really appreciate everything. I've put content out there about them. Just thank you so much for awesome products and supporting me. If you'd like to
Now
provide anything."
send me
I was
some
like,
free shit, or I'm gonna talk smack about you on Twitter.
and I literally said, if you, I'm going to be hosting a giveaway with some items I have. If you'd like to throw something, donate something for it, thank you. If not, no worries. I appreciate it. I look forward to, talking to you in the future, whatever. That's really it. And a couple of them came back and actually said, because I actually placed orders from these companies for the giveaway. I was buying County Com gear. I was buying QSP gear for the giveaway.
Yep.
And they replied with, "Hey, we added something into your order. Hey, we added an item into your order." So they didn't go out of their way to ship me something separately. No, they saw my order and they were like, "You know what? We'll add this for the giveaway." Like, and I thanked them profusely.
Yeah.
In fact, I was a bit uncomfortable because I didn't know what to say because they're like, "Here's stuff. The canary show, the corgi shows up from County Com. What is my obligations? They didn't say what I was supposed to do. What do you do when someone sends you a knife like that?" You're like, thanks. Like, I thought you'd send a patch or something. Like, it's awesome. And just be genuine, be thankful, be appreciative, and just communicate. I think if you communicate that kind of message consistently, in the end, it will come back around.
Well, another thing too is like the stuff I post on Instagram is a good example. That's my real shit. Like, I'm not I literally carry a Viperade VE15 almost every day. Like, not every single day, but that's pretty much my go-to. So, something interesting. It goes kind of dovetails with what you were just saying. Just because of the fact that I'm on Instagram consistently and I'm not I don't know, the person who's Viperade on Facebook and on Instagram, whoever that is, we have a friendly rapport now just because of my activity. And they know that I'm not like messaging them like, "Hey, send me free stuff." But they're also like, they see me posting pictures all the time. So I'll tag them every now and then and they'll repost some stuff. But like, it's just a nice way to build up rapport. Like, now I'm talking to Night Eyes on Instagram too.
Yeah.
Right. So they're at least aware of who I am. So I'm not a complete stranger. I feel like that's just how you grow, I don't know, organically in the community. It is. We're fortunate, like you were saying, to have companies that do cool stuff like that. They understand how our community works. They understand that giveaways are part of the ecosystem. They understand that that's part of the fuel that keeps the fire going.
Yeah.
It's cheap marketing, bro. They're giving away a knife. To them, that's not an expense. And to us, it's like an awesome thing to give away.
It is. It's the coolest thing in the world. And I will say, I will actually call out County Com for that insane support.
County Com's a great company to begin with. Like, even just as a consumer, like back when I was subscribing to their mystery boxes or whatever, I remember one month I got a Big Daddy mystery box that was almost identical to the previous month. There was like one or two big things that were swapped out and everything else was the same. And I just shot him an email like, "Hey, just FYI, I don't know if this was like, intentional or whatever." And I can't remember the woman's name, but she responded to me within like 6 hours and basically sent me another Big Daddy pack, like no questions asked. So I ended up with an extra Big Daddy pack. And I mean, I'm never going to say no to County Com stuff. I don't care how many extras I have. It's always going to come in handy. Yeah. There's always a pack that I can find room for County Com gear in.
Exactly.
but just a solid company. And, you know, I've been fortunate to meet, I guess his name is Mike, the guy that owns CountyCom, just through Crispy Donut community. Super cool guy. It's another company that you feel good supporting because like they're doing, you know, they're doing the good work.
I like that. Alex, tonight we have Suds with Pocket Theory EDC. He's been around since 1922, carrying.
I've been coaching the Kansas City Chiefs for the last 14 years. I'm Andy Reid.
I couldn't keep that one going. Oh yeah. CountyCom's Ultim is really enjoyable as well. It is.
Oh yeah, it is.
Gareth likes the Woobin X2. I've heard a lot of good things about the Woobins. I have a small one in my hip pack that I keep there, because it's insanely bright and tiny. I like what Ron said. How about those channels that when you watch a live stream, you feel like you're walking onto a used car, like a used car lot dealership?
I know exactly what he's talking about.
I've stopped watching some channels because I could not, like, every 5 or 10 minutes they were asking for money or a purchase, and I'm like, and we're going. Like,
hey, listen, again, I don't want to knock anybody because I literally I'd rather just say something nice or nothing at all. But like, one of the reasons that on my channel I have avoided doing lives and channel memberships and all that is because I'm not sure that I want to go down. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a slippery slope. Like, there's some of that stuff I appreciate. Like, dude,
we've seen Newman in Jurassic Park. It's a very slippery slope.
Tri-State EDC lost.
I want that Barbasol can, by the way.
Dude,
I want that as an EDC can.
I saw that prop Barbasol can. I see it, like the algorithm knows me because like Instagram.
I've seen it
telling me that prop Barbasol can. I'm like, you fucker, stop trying to sell me that. You know, like Tri-State EDC lost his job at the same time I did. Okay. And like he already had this existing channel, and I remember being like, oh my God, I'm so jealous that he's got a channel that he can turn to in his unemployment, and like people are giving him membership money and all that. But even then, I'm still like, that's not exactly why I started my YouTube channel. Like, yeah, I've talked to a few people about it. Like, when you look at the EDC community, and you and I have talked about this, like we had a conversation about this last week, like, you know, you can see where people fit into certain spaces. And I wasn't sure exactly where I fit in. Because like a great example is like Brian. BEEDC knows knives backwards and forwards. Like he can use every part of knife. He can take apart knives. Dude, he's a knife master, right? I'm never going to be that guy. I'm never going to be the master of knives. And I'm not even going to try to compete with Brian. Like, I would rather have Brian be my ally. So when I have a knife question, I can be like, Brian, what do I do? Same with you.
And
like,
you have strengths to offer. Like,
dude, if I need to know anything about sharpening, obviously you're the first person I'm going to talk to because I am not a sharpening expert. And this is what I love about when I think of community. That's exactly what I think of. Like, I'm a big believer in this life philosophy. It takes all kinds of people to make the world work, right? If everybody was just like me, I would hate everybody. I want to be the only Suds on planet Earth, and I'm totally happy with that. So like, I'm happy. Like you were saying earlier, like admitting that you don't know something, it's one of the best feelings in the world, actually, because it gives you an opportunity to learn that thing. So I feel like, you know, being a YouTube content creator, it's kind of a learning experience or whatever. Maybe one of these days I will do lives and channel memberships and all that good stuff. I'm kind of happy where I'm at, but like, it's awesome that we have people who are super knowledgeable about knives so that I don't have to try to fill that space. So I can talk about other stuff like, here's how you color coordinate with a pouch, you know.
Yes.
I'll stay in my lane.
Dude, the Swiss Army knife cover and protector cases you posted. Like these are the things that if you think about it and you get really into it. I mean, for example, Gareth mentioned he uses Woobin at work instead of the Olight because the Olight's got a magnet on it.
Yeah.
And that attracts metal filings. I think someone on the CountyCom page today was looking for they were asking if one of the carbon fiber or titanium boxes has a detent because he wants to use them to hold his cards in his pocket because he works in a metal shop and metal filings get in between the cards in his wallet and then they scratch him up, even with an apron or not. I'm thinking, oh, what?
I was gonna say shit that I would never even think of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
metal filings are getting into your Ridge wallet. So
but again, thank God we live in 2024 and everyone has a computer in their pocket because we can share information at light speed. So like, dude, even though I don't work in a machine shop, I still understand that metal shavings get caught in certain areas. I know this because I'm part of the community.
It's true, Ron, and yeah, I will address that and say.
Well, and then what the other thing on top of what Ron is saying, it's not just every 5 minutes. You and I have talked about this too. I don't even have a job and I am on limited time. I have a wife. I have a life I want to live. Like there are people with full-time jobs and I wonder like, how do you show up to everyone else's live? How do you watch everyone else's video and leave it? Like, I'm envious that there are people who can like manage their time like that because I suck at it and I can't. So not only do you show up to live at every 5 minutes, they're asking you to donate to the membership, but then like there's 20 different channels that are selling memberships and you feel like, dude, I really want to support the community, but I don't have a job right now. Like I can't just give away my money. My wife will kill me.
Dude, that's like 20 Netflix subscriptions.
Yeah,
like, let's just keep at like for example, in one day you can add on 4 or 5 subscriptions just for streams that you've come across. Like, I like this, support it.
Yeah. And trust
as
me,
much as I want to.
Well, that's what, and that as a content creator, I think like one of these days, if I'm ever asking people to, you know, subscribe to my channel, you know, am I going to regret talking about? I hope not, because I think like there are certain channels that think it's, you know, if you watch them all the time and you really depend on that content, like, of course you should support it. Like, that's just like anything else. Like, if you like a book, you should support that author. If you like a musician, go buy their albums.
It's like a busker in the street. I mean, you honestly can stand there and listen to them and not pay anything. And they'll watch you and you can stare at them in the eyes and they'll stare right back at you and you'd be like, and they're like, really? And you're like, that's good stuff. And they just walk off.
I mean, the world is the world, you know?
And hope, but then, you know, at the same time, you hope, I personally hope, as I put something in the busker, I mean, I'm a sucker for that. I was on a work trip and I'm sitting there at a pier in Baltimore having a crab cake, and this dude sets up right outside the restaurant. So of course I'm listening to him the whole dinner. Man, I had to get cash to go. I was like, I can't walk out of here without. Dude's like, he knows I've been here the whole time. He knows I've been listening and jamming out. He sees me bobbing my head. I'm just gonna walk by and what? Like, sorry, I could afford a crab cake, but not your lovely art. No, of course I did. Like, I love that stuff.
Every now and then you walk by a street musician and you're just like, what are you doing on the street? You are way too talented to be in a train station. Give this person a record deal.
I need to get, let's pin your channel at the top of the chat. Why are we in the chat? These are the things that we think of. So thank you, Bando. That's a really good point. And if you guys have any feedback, this is like I said, the very first one. The whole idea of why I started Tactical Llama EDC was to support as a llama, to essentially help carry the load and support. I mean, first of all, they're easy keepers. I mean, they are so, you literally don't have to do anything to take care of a llama. Give them space, they're fine.
Is that where you got the term easy keeper?
Because they're literally easy. Easy keeper is a term you use for types of livestock and animals. They're the type that literally they take care of themselves. So the easy keepers of the EDC world. I'm not asked, like, don't need anything from anyone else to carry my personality. It's my personality. I'm going to carry it, and I hope everyone carries their personality.
This is one of the reasons I think you and I became fast friends, is philosophically our approach is similar. The carry your personality is, to me, in the very same spirit as carry what you want, right? And it's something that I literally repeat every video. I know you say the same thing. Like, First of all, if you're not having a little bit of fun, I don't see the point. Second
Yeah.
of all, I understand that like you can't have fun 24/7 and the everyday carry is sometimes about having the things that you actually need.
Yeah.
Totally get that too. But yeah, like don't let anybody tell you what to carry. Don't let any, I mean, even if they are an expert, like even if the knife steel experts are like, don't do that. Carry whatever you want, ultimately. You know, it's your whatever. This is why Marine X. I used to like kind of watch his content on and off, and I was like, whatever, you know, he's a tactical dad. I don't have any kids, so I don't get that part of it. But Marine X has evolved, and I really like his take on a lot of stuff now, because he basically says, like, you know, if something brings you joy, that is an intangible element, right? You can't put a price on that. You can't explain it to somebody. It's like trying to explain or prove that you love someone. You know what I mean? Like it's an intangible. So yeah, if Ranger Eyes and other things bring you joy, then why wouldn't you do it, right?
Exactly.
Like, there's a complete shortage of joy in the world.
It's
why
necklaces, jewelry. Like there's nothing different about accessorizing.
Bro, I have
some
a
people have
Kansas
a
City
pet
Chiefs kit.
as
Are
an
you
accessory.
This is nothing but Chiefs decoration right here.
Right? Like
this in the Chiefs lanyard doesn't do anything to make the knife work better, right? It's a baby banter. It doesn't give it magic. It doesn't imbue it with powers or anything. Like,
wait, it doesn't get +1 dexterity?
You would think that it would, just for having the Chiefs symbol on it, but oh no, negative. So yeah, the little Swiss Army knife silicone cases are the perfect example of it's just fun. It's colorful. When I first got into EDC and I was like checking out people on Instagram, right? There's a lot of black and brown, leather and black and tactical and this and that. I'm like
Judas Priest.
Every now and then it's okay to throw in some colorful stuff, and like that's like literally the way I am. Like 5 days out of the week, I wear gray or black. And then 2 days out of the week, I'll throw on bright yellow or green or something colorful. So if you go to my Instagram, I have deliberately, I don't post pictures of the days that I wear gray shit. Every now and then I will. But all the pictures
I've noticed.
It's the colorful stuff. Because it's just, like if you go to any EDC page, you're going to see lots of knives and lots of like, it's not anybody's fault. They make
earth colors.
They make a lot of black knives, right? Yeah. Like 90% of the knives have black handles. So of course that's what you're going to see a lot of. So yeah, you kind of go out of your way. But again, it's the best time ever to be a pocket knife collector. Like look at the options that we have for colorful knives and just fun blade. I don't know, man. It's awesome.
You can even customize them. I mean, like,
dude, yes,
like titanium. Like first of all, the materials that people are making: titanium, anodization, chemical reactions, experimentation.
Do you ever watch Rochambeau?
Yes,
bro. He's on another level with his
knife
customization. Like I didn't really know. I mean, I did and didn't, but like I hadn't really paid attention to like milled titanium scales until I started watching Rochambeau, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. Like that guy's putting together some sick knives, bro.
Yeah, and like I like anodizing titanium.
I love that knife,
and I mean,
I don't want to get off on a tangent again, but like we could spend an entire hour just talking about The Emperor's New Groove and what an awesome Disney movie that is. Yeah. Squeak, squeakers, squeak, squeak, and squeak.
Yep.
Beautiful.
There's Cusco. So
my wife is not a big fan of like cartoons and stuff like that.
I love it. I'm with Dan on this one, dude. I mentioned things like Tailspin, DuckTales, Rescuers.
I'll literally sing the Tailspin theme right now.
Darkwing Duck, and then dude, my brother's name on every game is Launchpad McQuack. Yes.
Spin it, let's begin it, Baron. You can win it in a minute. When you spin it, spin it, spin it. Dump, bump, bum. Tailspin. Dun, 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 dun. I used to watch Tailspin every afternoon on the Disney afternoon show. I'm a huge, for people that don't know, I wake up every Saturday morning and I watch
Saturday morning cartoons.
I watch Bugs Bunny cartoons. If I can't find them on TV, I have like 600 cartoons digitized and saved on my media center. I have cartoons available.
There's YouTube channels that come out with weekly Saturday morning cartoon episodes, and they'll actually have commercials cut in. So it'll be like they'll have Rocket Power. You can choose like Nickelodeon Saturday morning.
Nice.
WDB's 50 Saturday morning. So it's like Digimon and like all those awesome. And then you had your different channels that had the different sets of Saturday morning cartoons. And then the cartoons were over and you got into Power Rangers, the live action.
I mean, there was like a year and a half when I was living in Los Angeles where I worked for a company that would pay for your public transport like monthly pass. So I decided I would be a hippie and just take public transport for like a year and a half.
Okay.
Eventually I got sick of it and just bought a car again. But during that year, I had an iPod, with the screen on it. And I used to just have a little bit of music and a lot of cartoons loaded on it. So when I was riding the bus or at the bus stop waiting, I would literally just be watching cartoons all the time. I never get tired of Looney Tunes ever.
Oh, Looney Tunes, dude.
I could watch Looney Tunes. I mean, like, I love, especially like Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs. Like those 90s cartoons were flawless, like really, really well. But like for me, it has never gotten better than the original Looney Tunes. I never, ever get sick of it.
Barber of Seville, one of my favorite episodes ever.
Like when they finally released all the Looney Tunes on DVD and Blu-ray, like the Golden Collection, that's where I got most of my cartoons digitized. So,
and then you get then you had the monster episodes with, what was the monster? Marvin the Monster? Was that it? Marvin the Martian, but it was
the big red monster.
Big red, yeah.
It had a name, but yeah.
He does, yeah, he did have a name.
Did he?
And Tweety's a dude.
I didn't realize we were going to get into gender politics on this live, but
oh my goodness. Tweety Bird is
Tweety really a dude? I don't think I did know that. All right.
Yes, Tweety Bird
very
is
soft.
They made it very clear, like, yes, Tweety's. I mean, he's a fucking canary. What else is he gonna sound like?
He's very young. I mean, like, it's
he's a canary.
He's
gonna be like
bird.
Hey there, get these snakes off my fucking blade. I'm Tweety Bird. No, he's not gonna.
Sylvester the cat's gonna eat that bird whether he's a boy or a girl.
Exactly.
What I mean? Sylvester don't give a damn.
But you ever wonder why like Tweety had all those like biker jackets, the jean jackets that had Tweety Bird? You remember those? Like the badass Looney Tune jean jackets, dude, with like the massive Tweety Bird. Like Tweety Bird was a biker with like yep.
Tweety
that was the whole thing with that one. And of course Donald Duck and coffee.
Huge fan of all cartoons. I'm convinced that watching cartoons on Saturday morning definitely makes you live longer.
Yeah. You ever heard of Biker Mice from Mars?
Of course.
Okay. Street Sharks?
Of course. I mean, I lived through that whole era.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you realize all of that came about in the wake of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, that inspired the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and all these weird, mashup ideas.
Yeah.
Like, we'll just smash a bunch of shit together and we'll sell it to kids. It'll be great. Be awesome.
Those links all go to nowhere. Whose links?
The what?
I have my link open.
Everyone go to my t-shirt shop and tell me if my t-shirts suck or not.
Oh, I did post this channel. Here we go. Let me get his channel up posted again. Pocket Theory. Pocket Theory EDC.
I did, by the way, put together my official EDC for the live show last night. Took some of your suggestions and incorporated them into my kit.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what did you bring as your? And congratulations, by the way, on your subscriber count, 1.31K.
Is that what's happening? All right.
It's steadily creeping. Yeah, it is. It is steadily.
I honestly have tried to stop paying as much attention to it because I don't want to be the guy that's constantly checking my social media stats. But that is nice, especially like you'll remember when you first start out making YouTube videos. Like, dude, you get no views. So you put all this effort into a video and you put it out there and you're all excited that people are maybe going to watch it. And then like not even 50 people watch it. No one
It's a
likes
terrible
it.
thing to look at,
Yeah.
man. It's a terrible
No
thing to keep
comments.
an eye on.
So like, I feel fortunate. The first videos that I put on YouTube were like from Blade Show. So I got a few views on those. And then I tried to jazz it up with some content from Japan. So
That was awesome.
So
I really appreciate your content in Japan.
Like when you finally get, like I remember passing
so cool.
Dude. So I wish I had known better. I would have recorded more stuff, but like when you get 100 subscribers, that was a big deal having 100 subscribers because you finally feel like,
anxiety was real, dude. Like, people were expecting things, and I was like, uh-oh.
You're also like, well, I'm not shouting into a void. At least like a handful of people are paying attention to what I'm doing. So it's like,
not even that. If you think about it, imagine 100 people in an auditorium. Think of that.
That's what I'm saying.
And they're there to listen to, like, if you don't say something, they're just going to hear you fart in the silence and be like, well, that happened.
And I will say, like, on YouTube, I've seen how ugly the comment section on YouTube can be. So I'm waiting for people to be like mean and ruthless. I love shit like that anyway. It doesn't really bug me, but from my experience so far is obviously the EDC community is a very nurturing and supporting place. So like,
it really is.
Everybody who leaves a comment is so nice. Like they're all, there's a few people that say like, shitty things, but like for the most part, I think people just appreciate, just the new ideas and like thinking. I sometimes, and it's a weird way to think about it, but like I'm a creative person, if you need like a complex mathematical problem solved, I'm probably not the guy that you want to approach, but like creative stuff I'm okay with. So I kind of take that for granted. So you figure if you're somebody who's working a full-time job, you got a wife and kids and all these family responsibilities, you might not have any time to think about like combining different elements into a kit or whatever, but I do. So if I can make a video that helps somebody or just inspires somebody to put together a dope kit,
exactly,
that's what it's all about for me. Like obviously the stuff that I carry is not going to work for a dad and vice versa, but like the idea behind it is still solid.
And you've created and that's one of the hardest things for a lot of individuals. I mean, even sculptors, having a skeleton to work with. I mean, so many sculptors go buy a wooden mannequin or wooden dummy, and then they work on top of that because they're like, why am I going to sit here and reinvent the human anatomy or something when you can start with a base? And I think, what a lot of people do in the EDC communities when they share their ideas, it's almost like an open license. They're putting it out there and be like, check out this thing. I think it's cool. And all of a sudden, everyone goes, I never thought about pulling those two color combos together. Look at those two patches side by side. Or, I mean, it's usually the stuff that's out of focus or not even the main thing that catches. I mean, that's what catches my eye. I mean, usually there's a knife and everything, but then I like looking at the small details. Like, what is that pen or what was that little thing on the corner, like the patch, or what kind of zippers does that thing have? Like, that's the kind of thing that gets me.
That's what started catching me. I realized that I was paying more attention to how people were carrying their stuff than I was to actually what they were carrying.
Yes.
I saw that it was a knife and a flashlight, and that didn't interest me as much as how they had assembled the kit.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, this is the part of the hobby that I'm really obviously gravitating towards. And again, just like everything else, if you're into knives, it's the best possible time to be collecting pocket knives. If you happen to be into sling bags and pouches, bro. Well, in the 80s, you had a handful of options for fanny packs. And like, we don't even have to call them fanny packs anymore.
They were all the same design, just different colors. Yeah.
Now, like, if you look at all again, people want to complain about Data Crew and the prices. I made a video about this where I talk about my little snack time, pouch. Dude, budget is budget. If you have money to spend and it's worth it to you, that's, whatever. Exactly. I'm not going to deny it. That little pouch from Data Crew is a badass pouch, dude. Like,
it looks cool.
They're making quality shit. I don't have $60 to go out and spend on a bunch of different pouches. Again, that's why I love Viper-Aid. Like, not only does Viper-Aid make quality stuff, but it makes at a reasonable price. But dude, I can't talk any shit about Data Crew. It's an American company. I got the heck out of Los Angeles because I didn't want to live there anymore. But, good for them for sticking it out.
Yeah.
Am I going to spend $250 on their sling bag? Absolutely not. But if they sent me one for free, I would, I would wear it around.
Yeah, wouldn't say no. I'd use the crap out of it.
Dude, it's a good looking sling. Having said all that, my favorite sling bag, and Data Crew still hasn't beat this, is the VanQuest Dendrite. If you look at the VanQuest sling bag,
I like that one.
Dude, the straps that VanQuest is using still beat everybody's straps, except for there's a couple companies that use straps as good as VanQuest. They're like truck seatbelt straps.
Yep.
The sling bag would rip itself apart before the straps came apart. And like, for whatever reason, Data Crew is charging 3 times as much, but their straps aren't as good. That is perplexing to me.
Yeah, sometimes that's one of the biggest items I notice is when I get a quality item or spend a certain amount of money, I scrutinize the materials. I mean, I will scrutinize the crap out of, could it have been wider, thicker, more reinforced, or stitching? I mean, all these things. And when you mentioned the Dendrite bags to me previously, I looked at them. I was like, holy crap, I had no idea that was actually a thing. That set a whole new bar for like, okay, so this is what's rugged. Possible.
Yeah. And I will say
at that price point, like
Data Crew gets points for originality. They've got some cool design elements, like their modular features on the inside of the market. Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And like, this is why I say it there has to be a variety of people. Like, Everyday Minimalist is one of my favorite channels just because of the way he presents his content. Like,
that's really cool.
At this point, there's absolutely nothing minimalist about the stuff he's presenting. Like, he's throwing out $5,000 kits that
I've seen that. Yeah, I've actually seen some of the videos where he's like, here's my $2,000. I'm like,
so if I ever meet him in real life, I will totally break his balls about that. However, it'll be a shit sandwich because I'll have to compliment the guy on the production value. He's putting out the best looking videos in the EDC community. But you and I also talked about one of our favorite guys, Maurice Moves.
Yep.
I love that guy. I got to meet him at Blade Show, and it was not like meet him. I just walked by and like, met him and then kept going.
Yeah.
But like, he puts out great looking videos that have amazing content, like just completely flawless, like informative videos. And and then also just, it's like an interesting person. Like, he has a lot of cool takes on things. You know what I mean? Like, when I went to Japan, he has a whole video. Yeah. And he's not strictly EDC. He ventures into the travel territory and some other places. I love John Gadget. He's one of my favorite people to watch. But my absolute favorite kit builder on YouTube is Earthling EDC. Have you ever watched any of his videos?
I don't think so.
Dude. Guys,
I'm still learning and hearing
I'll
about
send
all
you a
these
link if you can't find it. He invented a thing. The pocket rack is what he calls it. The pocket rack.
I see. It's that like, yeah.
It's one of the most innovative kit ideas in the EDC world right now. And like, only people that subscribe to his channel really know about it. It's basically just a little rack that he invented that uses like a 3D printed rack, and it uses elastic straps to keep all your gear in a little pack.
I see that.
He makes the most amazing kits. I actually talked to him a couple times on Reddit because he's like a really approachable guy.
This is crazy.
Dude, like, he's a genius too. He's one of those guys who, like, in his regular time, he's an engineer or something. He's obviously like one of those thinkers. I love it when guys like that get a hold of EDC concepts and start building kits and shit, because like, his analytical mind is thinking in ways, the gears are just turning in ways that mine won't, right? I'm like, how do I color coordinate this Ninja Turtle patch to an orange pouch?
He's got all kinds of goodness.
Dude.
Like he puts tiny kits. This guy puts tiny kits together.
There's also one other guy. He hasn't made a video in a while. I'm gonna try to remember his name, but he used to make videos like 3 years ago. Like little mini kits inside of like Tic Tac
containers and shit. Like,
dude, just smaller and smaller and smaller kits. He's the first guy that I saw completely break down a Bic lighter into its little components to where you're just got the spark thrower and all that other stuff.
Goodness gracious.
I just love just stuff that I probably wouldn't think of. So I love being inspired to go in those weird directions.
Okay. Well, on that note, what is the weirdest thing you've done for your YouTube channel?
Dang. That's an interesting question that I wasn't expecting. I haven't really done anything super weird. I mean, a little bit outside of my comfort zone was honestly going to Blade Show Texas and then going to Blade Show Atlanta, because I'm not strictly a knife person. I'm more of like an EDC kit builder, and I'm just getting into the, you know, the knife part of it. So that was a little bit weird. I'm kind of, believe it or not, I don't want to say a private person, but I'm used to like making jokes and talking about other people. So being the focus of some of this stuff and talking about things that I actually do feels weird to me sometimes, because people do reach out to you on social media and just like talk to you. They know random facts about you and you forgot, like, oh, I mentioned that in the video. I'm telling people about my life. It's weird.
Yep. So, yeah. That's one thing that pops up. So, okay. If you had to pick a theme song. Oh, what about me? I took a shower, filmed myself showering, and
see, I'm a completely like goofy person in my normal life anyway. I'm constantly
me in my normal life.
Yeah. So like a classic movie, I put out the classic movie monster kit video, and my friends are all like, oh, that's such a thing that you would do. And I'm like, yeah, I actually try to steer away from shit like that on YouTube, because all my videos could steer into the absurd, you know.
They should. You should have like a Cthulhu kit.
Believe I sometimes I wonder if people actually like that or not. So I don't know.
I have
I can get way out there, guys.
Actually,
tip of the iceberg.
How actually? I've got one for you. Now, Alex asked if you've written any songs.
Me?
Yes.
Shh. I won't mention anything too specific, but I have produced 4 hip-hop albums and 1 instrumental album of just like beats and weird tracks that I didn't know anything else to do with.
Okay, because you won't mention them, we know that they're porn background songs and title movies and DVD. They're probably DVD title songs for those, you know, when you had to go through like 69 chapters or whatever and be like, which one do I want?
It's weird. When this is the type of thing too where times have really changed since I recorded a lot of my hip hop tracks.
Oh my goodness.
How do I even explain this? I used to, when I lived in Los Angeles, Alex. When I lived in LA, I worked on a TV show called America's Next Top Model. While I was on that show, I had access to a lot of expensive computers and editing equipment and shit. So I started messing around.
That's like me as the technical director too.
So I started making these. Well, I was friends with a couple of guys that were in like a country rap duo. And I used to pretend to be their DJ. So this guy would put together these elaborate, like 15-minute mixes. And so I would come out and pretend to be on the turntables. But the joke was everybody was there to see the rap group. And my DJ mix would just keep going on and on and on and on and on. And people would start looking at each other like, what the fuck? And the whole time I was doing it, I had this like jar of powdered sugar that I would keep pulling out, and like, so I would pretend to be snorting like lots of cocaine this whole time.
Oh my God.
So that DJ character, who also, there was so many weird things associated with that, that evolved into a rap character where it was kind of a joke where I was like an 80s style rapper who was still rapping like, you know, all the things that people used to rap about, but it was in like the early 2000s. So yeah, there was a lot of like a lot of stupid sexist takes and like inappropriate language and stuff, but it was supposed to be a joke. What was crazy was I would just invent complete ridiculous crap, stuff that never happened. And even my closest friends would be like, so did that really happen?
Oh my God.
And I would be like, dude, you know me, you know that I wouldn't do it. Like, no, I never stole a car and drove to Mexico. No, I never did any of it.
Did that really
happen? Like, yeah, that's why as a YouTube content creator, I am very conscious about what I say, because if you say something, some people will actually believe it's true. Like even my close friends didn't realize that I had invented a persona for rapping. And I'm not even going to say my rap name because then you guys can find me.
No, we will. We will. I will. I do that.
Well, I'll just tell you when we're.
I've discovered my coworkers. He was actually an artist in Jamaica, and I pulled up. I found. Oh yeah. Oh, and trust me, this name, Jack Brandy.
Ooh,
nothing like, and that's Jack Brandy's like some character. So
yeah,
like good luck finding the Huckleberry Finn and Jamaican folklore of this DJ. And you're like,
here's what's interesting about living in Los Angeles. Like,
that's who you were.
So besides, when you live in Los Angeles, you know, like my first year in LA, I made a bunch of friends, and one of those guys was this dude named Rob, who was an engineer at a very nice recording studio.
Yep. That's how it all starts.
Dude, when I say very nice, like he ended up, after he was an engineer on all 4 of my records, which all of my records sound amazing because he did the mix on it for free. So like, even though my rapping's not that great, it's all professionally mixed, except for my last one, which I mixed myself, but that's a whole. But yeah, he ended up winning. Dude, he legitimately won a Grammy after working on my shit. He has a Grammy to his name. So like has produced all kinds of shit at this point.
Yeah.
But like,
he's been produced by a Grammy winner.
Yeah, but he's just a guy that I was friends with. Like he was like, bro, are you bored today? Come by and like lay something down to a beat. And I'm like, okay. And that was the start of it. So that's actually just very typical. But yeah. So that was something I did for fun, but it's obviously like every other creative thing I've ever done. I was not able to monetize that either.
What is one name of a screenplay you wrote?
I was not expecting that. Do you want to know the name of the very first script I ever wrote?
Sure.
True.
Yeah, sure.
Serial Killer Whales. Dude, to this day, and I'm not even going to lie to you guys, I spent so much time researching that script to make sure that every single thing that I had a killer whale doing was actually possible in real life. So I still think if somebody made that movie, it would make a fortune. It's about 5 killer whales that basically just kill people for fun. And if you look at what's happening in the real world right now,
I was just about to say,
dude, I wrote this script 25 years ago.
This is like
if you grow up in Central Florida, I grew up in the shadow of SeaWorld.
It's like a Simpsons episode right here. You wrote a script and then it
Serial Killer Whales.
It's just
I wish somebody would make. And dude, I wrote
Free Willy was too successful. They couldn't let that one happen.
I wrote a direct sequel to Bram Stoker's Dracula. But it's a teen comedy like Teen Wolf, and it's called Brian Stoker's Dracula. No one bought that screenplay either. No one bought any of my scripts because they're all ridiculous.
No lie. I know it was Serial Killer, but I did in my first mind went to a bowl of cereal. And I just imagined whales like going ham on some cereal, like some commercial.
I'm just gonna say it like this: as human beings, we are just lucky that killer whales leave us alone. Because if they decided that they wanted to treat us like food, we would have to avoid the water. Yeah. They are very smart. They can
imagine
swim
if they come on land.
No, they're much more clever than sharks are, and they're bad at bro. Killer whales will gang up on great white sharks and just decimate them.
Garrett's in South Africa.
Reason. They'll just eat their livers out and leave them for dead, just for the fun of it.
Garrett's in South Africa, and he's
no way.
Yep. Every morning he likes to go surf with his pod of killer whales, hunting down rogue great whites, tossing sea urchin biscuits to the otters floating around.
If I was a surfer, I would try to be friends with killer whales because they will definitely keep the great whites away from you. Great white sharks ain't afraid of anything except killer whales. Like they dolphins. Are the apex predators.
Either.
Well, they don't like dolphins, but they're not afraid of dolphins. Like the great white sharks will run from orca. And here's the craziest part of this is a true fact about killer whales. Did you know that there are 3 kinds of killer whales? There are the local killer whales that we all know and love, like, you know, they travel in pods of 30 and they hang around like the Puget Sound. Then there are deep water whales. They travel in pods of 5 to 10. They're slightly larger than the local whales, and they migrate more. They travel all around the ocean and they eat different things, but all of these whales eat fish. But the third kind are transient killer whales.
Yep.
They are bigger than all other killer whales.
They like seals, and
they travel around in groups of 3 and 5. And
coastal seals.
Anything. They eat seals. They eat dolphins. They eat other killer whales. Yep. They eat gray whales, and they're just badasses, bro.
They are.
Monsters, like legitimate apex predators. Like there's nothing that a human being has that could do. We would literally need a boat with torpedoes if they decided to just hunt us and eat us. Be great.
That was so funny when you thought the first thing that came to mind was hippos. Hippos are like great whales on land.
Dude, that's my favorite animal is the hippopotamus. I
don't doubt it.
I wanted to make a movie for years called Angry Hippos. That was based on dude, no shit. I just read an article that they're making a movie called Hungry Hippo.
No
or
shit.
Maybe it's just called Hungry. But yeah,
That's ridiculous, dude. Are you kidding me?
Hippos are the most aggressive land animal towards human beings. Like they kill more human beings than any other land animal every year. They're super aggressive and they're very strong and dangerous. They can also porpoise in the water faster than small speedboats. So if you've got like a little teeny raft with, like one of those little outboard motors, a hippo can come after you and actually bite your boat.
Holy crap.
Yeah. They're much faster than people think they are.
I'm trying to find out the darn. I don't see the stream tools to do the hashtag giveaway. I'm like looking all over.
Garrett says, I take my lion to the beach. It's skinny.
Holy shit. What is this guy?
Dude,
goodness gracious.
I want to hang out with Gareth, man. His life is more interesting than mine.
I know you don't. He's obviously the faster one.
Bro, if a hippo chased me, I would shit myself. I wouldn't.
Yeah, because you'd be looking at the back of Gareth. And there'd be a hippo behind you and Gareth in front of you.
Guys, if you're ever being if you and I are ever being chased by an animal,
leopard
just get ahead of me.
Oh my goodness gracious. All of a sudden they're just like this sleek, beautiful, then they smile at you like, "Go demon."
Dude, people think
gnarly faces.
People think sea lions are super, super cute animals too, but if you ever see a sea lion hunt something, they're like dogs of the ocean, bro.
They're gnarly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think sea creatures are fascinating. In another life, I could have been a marine biologist, but here I am, an unemployed YouTube content creator.
I've got a question for you. Dan, I've been chased by a wild boar. That was fun.
Dude, wild boars are no joke, man.
They're no joke.
They're angry little mother Fs.
Their greatest superpower is that they are low profile tanks.
Oh yeah, dude.
And they're sharp.
Yeah.
And they just need to run by you and they'll gash you, gore you, cut you.
Oh. They'll also bite the shit out of you. Like they'll
yes, they do.
That's funny. Like whenever
they bite the crap out of us.
If people live on property and they talk about like needing a gun, like you legitimately, if you have a handgun and you shoot a wild boar, you're not going to do much. You need
the 45 or you need a hefty handgun, to be honest. I love that. I've been chased by an angry wife, man. Was it your wife?
We've all been there, Jay.
That's the question.
I hope it was, yeah.
Whose wife?
I was
chased by another just said an angry wife. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to have to save these questions because I like these. What is the weirdest thing you have found yourself Googling late at night?
Jesus. I'm not going to tell you guys, man. I want to get on some FBI list.
Okay, fine. If you could instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Oh, man. Any skill? Oh,
anything you consider a skill.
any skill would definitely be like people persuasion, something along those lines.
Oh
As
shit!
much-
You want like charisma 99? You want those nat 20 rolls?
Don't get me wrong. I would love to be able to like build shelters.
You want Jedi mind?
Yeah. I would love to be able to like master pouring concrete pads, for example, so I could concrete in my backyard. But I also know that if I'm a persuasive person, I could convince somebody who is already an expert in concrete to do it for me cheaply. So yeah, my whole life is the story of personality conquering lack of knowledge. So yeah, if anybody out there is wondering, like, I don't know how to do anything, how will I succeed in life? Just get good at making friends. That's the story of my life.
That's not, I mean, that's it takes a village to raise someone. Honestly, like you said, I completely agree with your idea that if everyone was the same person or same thing, that's not what there's a reason we're not that way.
Yes, it would be yeah. The story of human civilization is literally the story of cooperation. Period.
And diversity.
Yeah. Like when we were like proto-humans, we figured out pretty quickly that hunting and gathering was way easier in groups. Farming, way easier in groups. Like it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. You huddle together, you stay warmer, right? So cooperating
as long as Jabba stays in the hut.
Well, there's a lot of people that have these elaborate like bug out plans if the shit ever hits the fan in the apocalypse. My plan in the apocalypse is to team up with as many people as possible, baby. Like my social game is going to be 10 out of 10 strong in the event of the apocalypse. Yeah, cooperation will save you faster than fire starting and hunting and all that other stuff. Like I will say this, the one thing I always thought would be super, super handy skill to have is foraging. Like hunting is great.
Mycology.
Yeah. Well, like, not being poisoned by something that you pluck and like, because hunting is actually more difficult than people realize. Like, especially if you are an urban prepper. I live in Austin. I'm not going to like bug out into the forest with my compound bow and shoot wild animals. Like it is possible, but it's not something that everybody in Texas can do in the event of the apocalypse. So
exactly,
cooperating is going to, it's going to help a lot of people.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that answer. And if you had to pick a theme song for your life,
I mean,
for this moment, I'd say for the last week, let's go with that because honestly, it changes day to day.
There's a song called
what up, EDC with DVD? Good to see you.
There's a 90s hip hop group called Funk Dubious that you guys might remember. They have a track called Heavyweight Funk. That's unofficially the Suds theme song.
Okay.
Everywhere I go, I hum that in my head and think about
it. And what's the strangest compliment you've ever received?
I was at a BDSM sex club in Los Angeles called Bar Sinister, and this big fat lady wearing all black walk up to me.
You realize how this memory it was.
I was with my girlfriend at the time. She was a makeup artist, and we used to go to this like it was like one club during the week, and in the weekends it was like a Matrix BDSM. They like whip women and all kinds of crazy shit. I'm not into that, but my girlfriend was at the time, so I just was there. But this really big fat lady walked up to me and just put a beer in my hand and said, "You look like you have a giant dick." And I was like, that's the best compliment anyone's ever given me. So I don't, for the record. I have a very average dick. But I was super happy to take that compliment. Like,
and the beer.
Yeah, dude. How often? You know what else? There was another time I was working on Disney property in Central Florida.
This is turning into a short. That literally he's going to turn into a short right there.
I used to work on Disney property in Central Florida at a place called.
Were you homeless?
Pleasure Island. No, it's it's just it was like a club complex that happened to be on Walt Disney property.
Oh.
And
we provide Disney internet.
A gay guy walked up to me and complimented my outfit, and I remember taking notes and thinking, dude, if a gay guy complimented your outfit, you're definitely doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what you're wearing and wear it once a week when you're trying to pick up girls. Yeah. I don't get. It's funny as men. I don't think we get compliments as often as like women do. And then as a guy,
We don't.
I don't know how to take compliments.
That's
most of
the
the time.
thing. I don't think people. First of all, it takes practice. Pretty much everything in life takes practice.
Yeah.
Supporting someone, being supported, loving and being loved. Like you
Yes.
like all of it takes practice.
Yeah.
Same thing with taking compliments and providing compliments. I mean,
Yeah.
it started with me in high school in 9th grade when I promised a friend of mine who was a girl, and she's like, you don't realize how important it is when someone says, "Oh, your hair looks nice," or "nice eye makeup," or just like little things. And I was like, "All right." She's like, "I would like you to try and compliment one person a day from here on out for the rest of your life." Because I was doing it every once in a while. She's like, I mean,
That's not a bad idea.
and since then, it has helped me compliment people as well as accept compliments and
Interesting.
realize also there's a BS filter. Like
Well,
it hones the BS filter when people are empty,
yeah,
having empty compliments and
exactly.
stuff. And it also you practice reacting to that because
Interesting.
you just gotta if you and when you practice it, when you practice saying to someone, "Hey, those are really nice nails," like at the cashier, at a store, trust me, you'll make their day, and it will not come across creepy. It will
That's funny.
not be weird. You just have to try it and sound genuine. If you
Yes.
only say it if you mean it. Don't say it if you're trying to be nice.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
if you actually looking and going, dude, look at those like zombie green, like blood splatter nails. Like awesome. Like
Yeah.
compliment. You can just
I'm
say those are nice nails.
I'm not afraid to give a compliment either, especially and not in like a weird way, but like I'll compliment another guy because I know that doesn't happen very often.
You did, Kringsley.
So
We're gonna get back to that.
yeah, like if someone's wearing a cool, like, especially in the EDC community, you get an opportunity. If your boy is carrying a dope knife, it's perfectly acceptable to be like, bro,
Well,
nice knife. But even when it comes to like shoes or something, you can be like, dude, that's a sweet pair of kicks. You know what I mean?
and
Like I
that's the
think
funny thing is,
2024, it's a
well,
we're allowed.
in fact, my best friend, when I explained the EDC community to him, he initially thought it was mostly a single political group, mostly a single type of individual, mostly a single demographic, and so forth, because knives and masculinity and hunting
Yeah.
and let's just say knives, just that's it. And I was like, well, obviously shattered that imagery and being like, surprisingly enough, zero tolerance for this shit, zero tolerance for that shit, 100% tolerance for support and appreciation. And at the same time, you have what I think is one of the most masculine looking industries or niche communities of individuals who want to be complimented on their accessories.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Like,
yeah, man. No,
you're
it is.
right.
The irony is thick. I mean, I joke with my wife all the time because there's a lot of things that guys are doing now.
As Jay hands you a beer.
It's a knife, I swear. It's a banana-shaped knife.
Right. Yeah. Pleasure Island.
I joke with my wife all the time, especially I dragged my wife to Blade Show Texas with me.
Yeah.
And she actually had a good time because I mean she saw things like the cat knife and became more open-minded to a lot of stuff.
And all the beards.
Well, yeah. But a lot of the things that men are doing currently in 2024, we carry accessory bags and organizers and fanny packs, which we call sling bags or whatever. But a lot of
5 years ago, people would bash the crap out of purses. Like
I remember in the 90s, my dad was like a very nice dresser. Like he always wore nice clothes and like, nice shoes and stuff. But like he was like a business guy. But like at a certain point in the 90s, he always had like his organizer, like his day planner organizer. And he got an organizer that also held like credit cards. And it was made out of like eel skin. And he carried it with him wherever he went. I relentlessly broke my dad's balls about this. I called it his man purse, his clutch.
Oh my
I was such a dick to my dad. And I mean, honestly, my dad didn't give a shit. You couldn't, he had confidence that came from other places. So like, my dad never cared. But like nowadays, it's no one would bet an eyelash. Like we're literally talking about all the different pouches I have. 10 minutes. So like, no one cares these days. No one's gonna bat an eyelash if you have a chest rig or any of that stuff.
Talk about your shoe collection.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a guy with a shoe collection, and
So,
how long were the stereotypes of, oh, she has all the shoe space, she takes up the class, she has this many shoes, bro. I'm happy about my 10 pairs of shoes. I like style and like.
That's my my cousin Brian Payne is in the chat. What's up, Brian?
What's up? EDC with DVD knows what it's at. What it be? What it's at? He's
dude. Brian was born a week before me or a week after me. We're born a week apart. We're both old.
We're both old.
Well, all I'm saying is that I think women deserve a little bit of credit, like a little bit of a high five when it comes to EDC, because they've been doing a lot of this stuff for like 100 years, right? They've been expected to carry shit with them all the time. So now that guys are catching up, we're basically stealing a lot of stuff from them. And also, it feels like a cultural exchange program. Like my wife, her EDC has completely changed. When I met my wife, she carried around one of those big
where
just a black hole of shit. It was
you would know the stereotypical don't go into a woman's purse. You remember that?
Dude, it's good advice because there were like literal bear traps inside my wife's purse. Well, now my wife EDCs a Herschel mini backpack, and I've got all of her stuff organized into pouches, and her whole EDC, it's the same stuff, but it's just organized a little differently. The whole ball game has changed, and it's basically like a cultural exchange program. It's because I started collecting all this crap, and like she'll see me with a donut flashlight and she wants one, or like the Olight, iPen minis, O Pen minis.
Yeah,
she saw the purple O Pen mini and it was over. She wanted one. Like she loves purple stuff. She actually EDCs a Gerber armbar cork every day.
Nice,
and it's a dope like EDC knife. Like people make fun of Gerber, but like understand, my wife's not a pocket knife person. She's never going to use the knife anyway. The most used tool on there is the wine opener. That's why she got it. But if she ever needs a knife, she's got one.
Or if she never needs to cut the foil around a nice, like, she's got the proper tool.
Like, trust me, if you need to open a bottle of wine, the armbar cork's a dope little multi-tool.
I mean, Gareth, he's got a set of PF flyers guaranteed to make a kid run faster and jump higher. Dude, one set of shoes you need.
My cousin Brian actually uses tools because he can fix cars and shit like that. So he sent me a video of him using his 5-inch Knipex Cobra pliers. All of us EDC people carry the Knipex pliers, but like few of us actually use them on a regular basis. He sent me a video of him like tightening something on his brakes or something like that. I'm like, dude, Brian's using his tools.
There you go. Yeah, EDC DVD's wife used to carry half of his stuff for him. Now he's, Krista went from a 3-fold massive wallet to a compact Threads wallet.
Yeah, I did the same. Chris, I did the same thing with my wife. My wife had one of those like old lady wallets, like my wife or my.
Oh gosh, like a clutch that you open and you're just like.
I literally have my wife in a thin wallet. It holds like 8 cards all around, but it's just like a slip wallet like guys carry, but it's purple. She loves it.
And that's now easier to do because you have payments on your phone as well as the physical. So in a way, you almost don't have to carry the numerous cards anymore.
It's almost like a weird reversal thing where men have gone so hard on the EDC thing that now they're making products that everybody's interested in. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It's the whole game has like, I'm telling you, I have a pink pouch from loadup.co that my wife saw and was like, oh, I want that. And I'm like, no, you can't have my pink pouch. My pink pouch. But yeah, like, anybody who's into organization is going to find something to like in this community, even if you're not into knives and weapons and all that other. It's like, dude, we talked about this. You'll never hear me talking about like pew-pews or guns on my YouTube channel. And it's not because I don't like guns or whatever. It's because like there's enough people already covering that. You don't need my amateur ass opinion on firearms, right?
That's kind of how I'm feeling about reviewing knives. I can't use like I got the knives I like and I have and I use, and that's pretty much my collection.
Yeah.
I I gotta find reasons to use them, and if I'm gonna review it, I mean, just like you said, I'm going to review something I want to use or I do enjoy and use because more than anything, I get excited about sharing that kind of information. I don't get excited about sharing crappy information. I don't get excited about ragging on something. I don't get excited about bashing something.
Well, it's
Now, the
also
Spyderco, I just happen to have the footage, and I was curious about the factory edge. And in all honesty, I think the knife would have been great had I put a new edge on it because the edge geometry on that factory was just and that was kind of what I was trying to get to.
It's all about the edge geometry. Just listen to the song. Everyone
edge geometry. So
it's man.
And I'm trying to find a way to support the channels that do everything that they're doing in the EDC community.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how I can add anything different to the reviews that everyone else is putting out there. I mean,
that's honestly why, I decided to do the kinds of videos that I do, because I don't want to, first of all, it's easy to step on other people's toes and so forth. But like I said, I'm not going to try to compete with the knife experts. I'm just going to try to,
they do great content.
Dude. Yeah. There's people that I look forward to, like Neve's Knives. I'm not going to try to he's never going to be less passionate about knives than I am.
He's not.
Like, he goes hard on knives, and that's all he cares about, right? So awesome. Whatchamahuji, I actually have to jump off here, Llama.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, I guess to go help the wife with something I promised to do earlier, and she's awake now and wants me to help. So
yeah, no worries. On that note, what is your go-to karaoke song?
That's so hilarious. My go-to karaoke song, no hesitation, 3 Little Pigs by Green Jello.
Good deal.
I've done that like 20 times over the years, and I kill it every time.
CCR, Rolling on a River.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, especially in Finland when I sound. People love it. They don't realize I speak fluent English, and then they're like, you sound great. I'm like, yeah.
That's an awesome story. Whenever I'm doing karaoke in Finland, I like to
pretend like I don't speak English.
Little CCR, when I'm in Finland doing karaoke.
Out of all the songs you can sing, it's like the easiest shit. Rolling.
I think we need to do this again, though. This was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to put you on the docket. EDC with DVDs next. You batter up,
I get it.
He gets a little butthurt if you gotta put him in queue again. No, actually, no. I would like to. Yes, most definitely. Yeah. And
I mean, I would like to. You're kind of a piece of shit, but I'll talk to you again.
I appreciate that. It's we gotta polish this turd. We gotta polish this. I love that saying. I can't. Gosh, because I can physically see it. Anyway.
Yeah. No.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Suds. Thank you so much. And it seems like there's so much more to digest, so much more to dig into. I mean, I feel like we only got to the cream cheese topping of the cheesecake there. I mean, we haven't even got to the graham cracker crust.
Obviously, you and I are what they call talkers. We could talk.
I think so.
So.
You would have a nice day. Yeah, I hate you too. Oh God, you were saying squeaker, squeak, squeaking,
squeaker, squeak, squeak. Dude, I remember the first time I saw that movie, I laughed so hard I almost pissed myself. Like, that is easily the funniest Disney movie ever.
I think it's the best anti-Disney movie.
It
is an anti-Disney movie. First of all, David Spade and John Goodman. Oh, the humor and the jokes and just the breaking the fourth wall. Like,
if you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, you really can. Just go down the development of that movie, because they literally stopped and reinvented Emperor's New Groove like halfway through.
Yes, and that is why it became a huge flop.
Yeah,
which now has resulted in being a cult classic. It is literally like Little Shop of Horrors was, or Rubber. Anyway, yes. Pleasure Island. you never came back to that. I feel like you have
Oh, I'm
dodged that
sorry.
one.
Pleasure
You've dodged
Island
that
is a
leather
real.
slapper.
If you, I grew up in
I'm
Central Florida,
Kentucky.
so I grew up 45 minutes from Walt Disney World, and on Disney property, there was a complex of nightclubs called Pleasure Island. You would pay one admission price, and you
Oh,
would have access to like 6 different nightclubs, and it was 21 and up. And I mean, first of all, I used to go like party there with my friends and so forth because they had like a disco club and some other stuff. But
dude, disco
I
was the absolute
I ended up getting a
underrated.
job there at a company called Amazing Pictures, where we would take your face and put it on like a magazine cover or whatever. So I worked for like a year on Disney property, and yeah, you
So
get
you were
all
taking
kinds of.
pictures of people's heads at Pleasure Island.
It was just like it was like a carnival attraction. We were at the Midway, so like you would go to a
That's
nightclub, and then
interesting.
there was also a place where you could go play Midway games and eat food and stuff. And it's Disney. It was like
It's like a
Disney's version of a
like a county fair, state fair, nightclub gathering. Like
yeah.
you were a nightclub Pleasure Island carny.
I mean, basically, if you are familiar with Pleasure Island,
Rock the
most
Crow. I
people,
loved Pleasure Island.
yes, most people loved it. Most people have very fond memories of Pleasure Island, because it was kind of like Disney's a very clean, family-friendly, touristy type thing, and Pleasure Island was a little bit more adult and dirty, and like
Just
people
a
get
little bit.
hammered and well, dude, it was like a safe place to go get wasted because you
Yeah.
pay one price to get in, and then you could just stumble around hammered and just walk into different nightclubs
So
and
yeah,
not have to pay cover fees and shit like that. It was great. Lots of girls, lots of women around.
lots of everything.
Well, I mean, lots of tourists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like girls visiting from other countries. They're just there for the weekend. You know what I'm saying?
You're happy to show them your EDC and take a beer.
Whatchamahoogie. I do have to jump off. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, don't apologize. Thank you so much for everything.
You guys
Everyone,
have
once
a
again.
wonderful night, wonderful evening. And yeah, I'll talk to you next time. All right, brother.
Is there anything you want to leave us with or say before you go?
No, go visit my t-shirt shop and tell me if any of my t-shirts are worth selling, because I'm gonna try to sell some on Black Friday this year. So
Cool. You heard it. Go let him know if his t-shirts are worth buying.
or roast me, one or the other.
Or roast them.
No middle ground.
Well, thank you so much, Suds.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
we'll do this again.
Talk to you soon, brother man.
You have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, hopefully everyone had a good time this evening. I did. I enjoy talking to Suds very much. We have a lot to talk about. Goodness, it's most of the time on the conversations and phone calls when we were getting ready for this, it was like we should save this for for the interview, and then we'd keep talking. But yeah, fantastic individual. I like his perspective on EDC, as you could tell. He approaches it in many different ways, and that's what I really want to highlight in the series is seeing how individuals approach EDC, what brought them into it, and what they find to be, their little niche, what draws them to it. There's knives, there's flashlights, there's pens, there's notepads, there's all kinds of things. And as long as it represents your personality and who you are, and you think it's cool, carry it, make it part of your gear, show it off. That's what this is all about. So if you'd like to be included or involved or featured on here, please let me know. Just send me a message. We can get this organized. And yeah, I'd love to learn more about the viewers, love to learn more about content creators. Just today, I found out about Earthling EDC. So I'm going to have to go down that rabbit hole. Jay, see you tomorrow at 10K. This is, please use my platform and audience for your channel. That is why I want to create Tactical Llama EDC. This growth has been absolutely insane, and I would love to use it to showcase the other channels, other content creators. That's what I would like to do, and that's why I'm here. So, EDC DVD Hobie, I can't talk at all right now. I tried yelling earlier in case the winner of the drawing had walked away from the phone or computer, and I shouldn't have done that. My throat is fucking dead. So, EDC with DVD is actually the next one lined up. I don't know. I think we'll do this once a week. Loadout EDC. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, he'll be the next one. So sometime next week, we'll probably sit down and have a little conversation. You have inspired me to try and do some experimental things, is what I'm going to interpret that as. I read it. We're on the same page. We are. Yes, we are. We're on the same page, Dan. Definitely. Thank you so much, Loadout. I appreciate that. Yeah, and if there's anything you'd like to know, please, like, Loadout, if you'd like to be featured on here, EDC or DVD. That's for those who don't know, SX BR Llama means SpaceX butt rocket. To the moon, guys. We're going to the moon, and I want every single one of my friends and all of you with me. I do. This is not a journey I'm doing by myself. I'm Tactical Llama EDC, and I'm here to support you guys. So, oh gosh. Every time I look over at this chat, there's something waiting. So yeah. I gotta go find stuff to sharpen for this weekend, for tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, Gareth, I've done that before. I've been on the phone with actually DVD. We were talking about the Vossies. I took apart my nightshade, and that is not a fun one to put back together. I'll admit that. I've gotten distracted. I've actually found a screw after the fact, and it's like taking apart a laptop and putting it completely back together, and there's one screw left, and you're like, with a laptop, sometimes it's not worth opening all the way up, but with a knife, you can't really risk that one. So yeah, if you'd like to be featured on here, let me know. If you'd like something sharpened on here, let me know. Got Goodwill sharpening coming up. Gosh, I appreciate it. I really do, everyone. So thank you so much. Take care. Carry your personality, and I will see everyone again later on. Updates about the giveaway will be coming soon. All the items have arrived. I still got to record this one. This is the ARC pouch they sent in. Record that video, record this video, and the Jimmy Crow QSP. Yeah. And then I'll have an entry, then I'll have an announcement. So good night, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you again. Carry your personality.